Wherever there's an episodic series, you can bet two men will talk to you. AJ Talon and Owen Finch give their thoughts on Owen and AJ Talks.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Owen and AJ Talks. I'm Owen Finch, and I'm here with...
AJ Talon, and with our third host, Moo the Cat, who's been trying to fucking eat me all day.
Which is very fitting, because we're doing a show where you have to survive in the wilderness, and that's what Moo's...
And eat each other. Yep. It's YellowJackets, Season 3, Episode 2.
And this episode is called Dislocation, which is a very fitting title for this episode, because a character goes through dislocation in a literal sense, so...
Yeah. It's funny, because they are all dislocated, because they're not in the location they should be. They're in the middle of fucking nowhere.
That's fair. I think you put more thought into it than they did, type of thing. I think it was...
Yeah, I was going to say, there's no way they meant it like that, but I'm just like, I shall bring it up anyway.
Yep. By the way, the funny thing is, AJ, I waited so long to, upload the last video. Literally, episode 1's video is uploaded as we're recording this video. That's how much I forgot to...
Whoa, procrastination. All right. But to move on with YellowJackets, I shall guess the air date while it is fresh in my mind. So, the last one aired on February 14th for some people. I know it's weird because, it airs on, HBO Max and Paramount Plus and whatever the fuck. But assuming it aired... Well, actually, no, wait. I'm pretty sure episode 2 aired alongside episode 1. So I believe this episode also aired on February 14th.
And again, you are correct. I was actually worried you were going to forget. I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to literally forget that it aired the same day.
I almost did, and I thought about it.
But yeah, they did...
Because this episode is so Ben-heavy, Ben being a big presence makes me smarter.
Yeah. That's right. I feel like we might have to talk about... This might be an issue that they do this, because they've done this with the last season. And I feel like it might be an issue, because I notice they put, a lot of, the reveals and the twists and, the shock moments and stuff, in episode 2. Episode 2 is really the better, season premiere, because they know the episode 1, they don't really seem to put a lot of stock behind. And... I hope they don't do this consistently, because it feels like this has happened the last 2 seasons with the YellowJackets, where episode 1 would be kind of middle of the road, and I know episode 2 wasn't anything fantastic for this season, but I remember this happened the last season, where episode 2 was the real standout episode of the season premieres, and I wondered if they know they're gonna release both episodes the same day, so they put more stock into episode 2 and episode 1, and if that's the case, I kind of wish they wouldn't do that. They would put a lot of effort into both episodes.
Not very long seasons, 10-episode seasons. You don't got a lot of wiggle room, guys. You got to make every episode count. Is kind of my view when you have such short seasons.
Yeah, and that's just the climate nowadays, because they don't do.
Yeah, with a show like Avatar or Danny Phantom, where there's 20-something episodes per season. It's okay, you can afford to have a couple fucking great divides in there.
Yeah, this. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, let's go through who directed this episode and stuff, because it's not the same people, which is really weird. I thought it would be the same people since it was a 2-episode,
double whammy,
but it was not that case. This episode was directed by Billy Woodruff.
Eilish.
I wish that'd be funny. But he's done some other things. I want to see if I know these other things. I don't know these other things he's done. He's done some episodes of Hit the Floor, Show Hunters, Daytime Divas, Greenleaf. I don't know these other things he's done. I don't. But he's done some things. That's cool. It was written by Rich Monahan and Amani Rosa. They don't have wikis, so we don't know anything about them. The cinematography was done by Michael Whale. The editing was done by Daniel Williams. You already guessed the air date.
Yeah. all these people without wikis, they're the backgrounds Yellow Jackets. They exist only when they only sometimes exist.
Yeah, I like to think that. But let's just get right into it. We're gonna switch it up this time. Last time AJ did the past and I did the present. We're gonna switch it up just because we like to switch it up every now and then. I think season 2 AJ did like about every episode in the past and I did the present. And we're going to switch it up this time around. So I'm going to do the past and I'm going to do the present. Now, obviously, we don't do the episodes in order of when the story chronologically happens. This is going to be like the worst example of that because everything we're about to talk about does not happen in order. But again, we're just going to do...
It's much easier for this video if we do all the past and all the present.
Yeah.
If you've seen literally all of our other Yellow Jackets videos, that's how we do it. I don't know why you'd be starting on our season 3 episode 2 video.
Hey, don't forget I screwed up though and uploaded season 2 episode 4. Like I didn't make it public, so like there was a season 2 episode 4 video missing for a while there. So
yeah.
But yeah, let's just get right into it. So it's the next day, and obviously, we've caught up because the last episode ended during the day when Ben found Molly in the pit. And everyone's kind of like wondering like what happened to Molly because obviously it's a whole day's passed and she hasn't come back yet. And Natalie wants to get like a search team going to see where Molly is. Shauna walks back from a plot line that I'll talk about later. Natalie actually like wants Shauna to look for her. I'm really happy with this episode though, because obviously I was really gonna say this. Like, it seemed like Molly disappearing overtook everything. Like, because the last episode Natalie put Shauna and Molly on house arrest. I like that Natalie didn't like stick to that. Like, she realized Molly missing was kind of a bigger deal than holding on to the fact of her.
Yeah, being... back in your tent, like she's more focused on Mari being missing.
She wants to get a search team going, so now Natalie wants Shauna to go with her. And Shauna doesn't really give a shit about Molly. She even says, like, I'm not going to go look for that bitch. Like, I don't care about her anyway. She just kind of walks off.
I will say, so, like, is it, like, two of the girls kind of, like, smirk and, like, give a sigh when Shauna runs off. I'm kind of curious if this is going to reflect on, like, people not respecting Natalie as, like, their queen.
Yeah, I would like that. And then... Thaisa and Van are gonna go off and look on their own because it seems like they only really hang out with each other in this show.
As you know, Owen, when you're in a relationship, nobody else in the world exists. You are only allowed to interact with the person you are in a romantic relationship.
So something we need to talk about, AJ, because it seems like that came from some real life stuff right there.
That when it's like, oh, you are in a relationship, therefore you are not allowed to fucking talk to anybody else.
Then Misty offers to go with Natalie, and this was pretty cool because obviously this was the big duo in the present. The plots always seem to evolve each other. And we literally just talked about this off camera. One thing I do like that they're fixing this season. Well, I like it, but I'm like 70-30 on it type of thing because they're really fixing the issue of like having the main cast interact with each other now, because obviously a big issue we had literally at the end of season 2 was none of the main cast really in the past like associated with each other, so it was really hard to...
like obviously I was just memeing about, well, I mean, I am kind of serious about it, but I was fucking joking that like Tyson and Van are like glued at the hip. Well, actually, funny enough, that was one of the better ones where Thaisa and Shauna kind of built a friendship. And this season they kind of haven't had Thaisa and Shauna like interact much at all. But that's kind of ties into something that happens later. That's a character says that maybe there's a reason for that.
Would have been nice if we could have seen that, not do a time jump.
Right. But like you said, it seems like they are kind of trying to fix that and have the main characters interact more in the past, which I appreciate. Again, it's kind of an issue of like a little weird that it's only happening now, but better late than never.
Yeah, because I literally mentioned because Natalie and Thaisa go on a little side quest. Even though it's not much, this would have meant a lot more had Natalie still been alive, like in the present, because obviously that dynamic really worked in the present. It would have been really cool to see it happen in the past, especially like alongside like a side quest they would do it in the present. That would have been really cool to see that contrast.
Yeah, we're talking about this all past, all present. But remember, we really like it when the show kind of matches up past and present. So again, like you said, having Natalie and Misty going on an adventure, both past and present, would have been a cool dynamic shift. See the differences.
Yeah. But then Travis offers to go help Van and Thaisa look. And that makes sense because he even mentions, even though he's not hunting anymore, he still knows like the woods well enough to like, help him to find Maui. I almost said Aoi, but it's Maui.
Anymore.
He's going through some shit, dude. He lost his brother.
I guess. He just sits around and fucking cries all day?
I guess so.
No, he's chilling. He doesn't give a fuck that his brother and dad are dead.
I don't know what I don't know what his emotions are about his brother and dad being dead. I get he did. I guess that's a plot line in this episode where he hasn't come to terms with his emotions, but I don't know. I guess the writers did that on purpose, but I don't like that because again he gets mad. Yeah. As we talked about before, he gets mad at Natalie for like bullshit, like faking his brother's death, but then when his brother actually like died, he didn't really give a shit. And then like when his brother like came back when he thought he was like dead, he still didn't like like what it seemed like he cared more when he thought.
Travis is a smorgasbord of emotions. But yeah, I like that because again, kind of the issue of like before Natalie and Travis were fucking glued at the hip. So I kind of like that now they're separated a little bit. Travis is with Lottie and now Misty is with Natalie.
Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, Lottie doesn't want Travis to go look because she kind of wants to do some experiments, which is really when I said that because we just watched OVB season 9. But she wants to do some experiments on Travis taking some more drugs and see like if he could tune into nature and everything like that. I do like this.
Travis just becomes a fucking tree.
I mean, but I do like this though. I kind of hope I'll talk about this even more later, but I kind of hope this ends up being like a main reason why Travis gets so like addicted to drugs and when he gets back to society is because like Lottie got him into it like in the past. So like he's, and that'd be kind of cool because then Lottie would in a way be responsible for his, not the way I wanted her to be responsible for his death, but in a way she would be responsible for his death.
Yeah, she got like a domino effect going. Yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't just be a domino effect, but whatever. I feel like to the first half of the show, it's just been us like discreetly like just tearing down the show type of thing. We've been like, shouldn't be this.
Yeah. So this episode, I guess I'll just say it now. This episode is kind of like the last episode where this episode itself is fine, but it is kind of suffering from like the previous episodes, and also the fact that it's like skipping over important shit.
I feel like we're gonna say that a lot this season, though. We're gonna be like, "Oh, this shit,"
yeah.
But whatever. We're just spiteful like that, I guess. We just have to call that shit out. But going through the Travis plot, since it's kind of unconnected to really everything else. We see that Thaisa and Van are trying to find Maui. They do a kind of comedy scene here where like Van squeals like a pig to try to find Maui, which is pretty funny. Thaisa's kind of questioning Natalie's motives, considering the fact that like she's sending out like a search party for Maui, but she didn't do one for like Ben when they thought he died. Which I I question that too, mainly because of how the epicness of Ben's character and everything like that. But because they need him. I know they built like their own little society without him, but they still even when they don't need him, they need him. So,
right.
But I had to like having this talk where everyone's kind of questioning if they would be a better antler queen, because Van mentions like kind of says like Natalie is a better job for the role. Like she didn't think Thaisa would be a bad fit for the role, but she thinks she wouldn't really know how to handle being the antler queen type of thing. Kind of like that there's this talk kind of going down where we're getting people's thoughts of who should be the antler queen. Would have been nice if we could have gotten this.
Yeah, I was going to say, this could have been interesting parallel to the present, because remember, Thaisa was going to be senator, a position of power. But then, Thaisa just off screen resigned from office.
Do you think she would have done that as Antler Queen, just off screen, like resigned from that type of thing?
Yeah, like if last season they all voted for Taissa to be the Antler Queen, the new season would have started off with Taissa being like, "Oh yeah, I quit."
And I feel like she kind of like mentioned it offhandedly, like, yeah, she mentions like I quit like 4 weeks ago, type of thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Because that's it.
So, I mean, I like that they're having this talk, but again, it's like I said, it's it would have been a really cool parallel to the present since she was running for a position of power, but they kind of squandered that.
And I get, you know what's weird? I like this. I like past Taissa better than present day Taissa. Past Taissa is pretty solid, but present day Taissa, I feel like they are trying to build a storyline around her, but I just don't care, and it's really missed potential.
Yeah, I love past Taissa, and I really like her dynamic with Van in the past. You know,
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what. I get you evolve as a character, but it seems like she devolved as a character in the present.
Yeah, she's evolving just backwards.
Well, that's again devolving, like I said. So, yeah. But doing this, they hear somebody scream, who's obviously Travis. I knew he screamed the second I heard it, which was really weird. I don't know why, but I did. And
the only guy. Imagine it's just like fucking, I don't know, Crystal having that scream.
Yeah, that is that. I guess without Travis is the last guy left, actually. I guess so.
Yeah.
But you know, Travis is reacting to the drugs, and Lottie is trying to mimic his reactions, kind of trying to see like what is Travis hearing, doing all this, and he's kind of just he's kind of shouting random things, kind of mentioning stuff about the wilderness and everything like that. And doing all of this, he ends up attacking Lottie and chokes her to the ground, and like Van and Taissa have to pull him off, and Van and Taissa even tell like Lottie like she's going too far type of thing, and Lottie's like, no, we're trying to like tap into nature, we're trying to get him to respond to it and everything like that.
Lottie's obsessed with Travis, you know, like even when Taissa's like pushing her away and telling her to back off, she's still just like laser focused on Travis. Like she's not even like paying attention to Taissa.
Yeah. I like this plot line. Again, it's the reverse effect where like I said before, that AJ didn't know this term. It's putting a lipstick on a pig. We know the long-term effect of this. It's gonna suck. It's still gonna be a pig. So, but for what it is, I like it.
Again, a little. So, I like that Taissa and Van are like kind of like the normal people in this situation. They're like, they're like trying to stick up for Travis, and they're seeing Lottie's like fucking with them.
Yeah.
So, and again, I like that Van was kind of like cradling him a bit as he was like crying, because obviously, so I like this, you know, they're kind of showing that Travis is like presumably fucked up emotionally over the deaths of his dad and brother. Again, I feel like they should be a little more explicit with it, but it seems like they're trying to show that he is sad about it.
Yeah.
So again, and I said, considering they had Van be the one to talk to him after Javi died, I think it's cool that Van is the one kind of comforting him now.
Yeah, because she convinced him to eat his brother and everything like that. So.
Right. So again, it's weird. Again, it's a situation of like there wasn't really any build up to like Van and Travis having any kind of relationship.
Yeah.
But you know, if they're gonna do that, I'm glad they're continuing with it. You know, like they're trying to build something between Travis and Van. It seems like.
Yeah. So I like all of this, and then. Afterwards, presumably a couple hours later, you know, Travis is still like emotionally wrecked, and Recast Girl #1 comes up and like comforts him and offers him to hold one of the ducks. This is
pretty even make a sound symbol.
I guess you didn't like Travis holding the duck. Oh, either that or you didn't like me mentioning Recast Girl #1. I'm not sure. It could have been both.
The duck. Fuck that duck specifically. I don't know why. I just thought.
And yeah, Travis holds the duck, and it's a way for him to feel some comfort. And Lottie, you know, even though Travis just had like a huge breakdown, still wants to do the experiments with Travis and see like if he could still tune into nature and everything like that, and like be able to heal the nature. And Travis isn't into it, you know. He like tells Lottie he doesn't want to do it because she says he almost attacked her. And Lottie says that she's fine. She says, like, those are, like, the risks we kind of have to take when it comes to hearing from nature. And I think Travis was lying here, but he says that the nature didn't want me to hear it. He thinks that recast girl number one, can tune into nature because she can change people. She's a shapeshifter. She could change people between seasons. I don't know why she didn't do it in seasons 2 and 3, but she could change into people. Let's go. But no, that's not the real reason. Even though that'd be pretty cool. But
I want the Riverdale scene where recast girl from season 1 shows up, and it's like, guys, I'm the original recast girl. That one's the recast girl.
I would love it. But she says because recast girl number 1 like really tunes in with nature and like really takes care of the animals and everything like that. She's the one that nature or the wilderness, whatever this thing is, like really wants to like speak to and everything like that. And Lottie walks off, and I think Travis lied a little bit here because he didn't want to be put through all that stuff again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought it was pretty clear Travis was bullshitting here. Because again, like you said, this is presumably only a couple hours later, and Lottie's already going back to him and like trying to force feed him fucking drugs.
Yeah.
After he like just horrified earlier. So yeah, it really seems like Travis is just like scared and like doesn't want to do this anymore, and he's like trying to get Lottie to like focus on somebody else. Because yeah, as soon as Travis said like the wilderness doesn't want me and wants her, she immediately like just left, like didn't even say anything else to him. She just walked away.
I wonder when
So it seems like Lottie doesn't even give a shit about Travis, only that like the wilderness seemingly chose him.
Yeah, so I wonder if they'll do something with that, where like Travis will be really emotional and go to like Lottie to talk about like to talk about his emotions. I know it's a lot for Travis to do that, but maybe he will, and like Lottie won't give a shit, and then he'll be like really upset about it, type of thing. I would like that.
I mean, for now, it seems like Travis just wants to get Lottie away from him.
Yeah.
For now, it seems. But as we know, in the future, Travis ends up being the one to call Lottie, before he dies. So, curious how we'll get to that point.
Probably shitty to that point. So,
probably.
But I like the Travis plot line. Just for this episode alone, I like it.
That is a rare statement, like that we liked the Travis plot line. That is a rare thing for us to say.
I thought it was solid though. It wasn't anything fantastic or anything like that, but it was solid. So
I know it was. I don't know if I liked it. It was decent. It was fine.
Yeah. There was other things we would focus on by this point, which we'll get into at the end of the past, because there was I think we'll say this: we like all these plot lines, but let's just be real here. When we get to the Ben plot line, we were just waiting for that to pick back steam out again. So then we have Shauna's plot line. It's very brief in the past, but it's obviously expressed more when you see her in the present. We see during the cold open, she's going to her baby's grave, and obviously she's reliving the image of what she said in her Inception dream sequence. That is a sentence I don't think any Yellow Jacket fan is ever gonna say. Inception dream sequence. So, she's cradling him, and she moves his grave to another part of the woods and everything like that. I think she moved it to its own grave, so she wants it to be her thing. She I think she grieves over and everything like that, kind of showing Shauna doesn't really want to be a part of the group with this grieving process and everything like that type of thing. So I was about to say I noticed she did move Jackie's grave, but I forgot Jackie doesn't have a grave.
Well, I mean, she kind of. Well, I guess Natalie buried her with the rest of the plane crash people.
I was gonna make the joke that her stomach, all the stomachs, was the graves, but that's fine. Yeah. So, and then later on, when she goes back to the grave, she sees that someone's laid flowers over the baby's graves, and she pulls out a knife, and we see some random woman who I thought was at the time. It was some blonde girl, and I'm like, who is this? Now, to be fair, this show brings in new people so often that we've never seen before. Like I said, there was there's someone I think you didn't catch it on the rewatch, but there's a new character who's just a background character. I'm like, oh, that's a new person. So I thought this was just a new person they brought in, but it's Backwards Hat Girl, and I'm like, oh, that took me a little bit because this is the first time I've seen her without her hat on. So I had the reverse.
But it's like Perry the Platypus from Phineas and Ferb. Like the hat off, it's just a normal girl. But the hat on, Backwards Hat Girl.
Oh, it's like one of those things. Remember, like too. Sometimes, like Perry the Platypus, like he'll like wear like he'll be like a plumber, and then he'll reveal himself, and his Doofenshmirtz will say like a platypus plumber, and then he puts the hat on, and then he's like, oh
yeah. Well, that's the joke I was making with Doofenshmirtz, where he's like a platypus.
Yeah,
Perry the Platypus.
But I had the reverse CT effect where I kept yelling, "Put your goddamn hat on! Put your hat on!" Instead of don't put the helmet on. It's put the hat on now. So, but she comes up and we find out she left the flowers, and she mentions that, and she tells Shauna that everyone's scared of her, but I actually kind of feel bad for you, and she talks about how she likes Shauna's like resilience and like the fact that she's kind of like separating herself from everybody, and Shauna holds the knife to her throat and says, "If you tell anyone about this, I'll kill you." And I think we're meant to think that she's going to like do something brutal to Backwards Hat Girl, whose I don't think name has been said yet, but then Backwards Hat Girl kisses Shauna, and then Shauna reciprocates, and they start making out. This was a pretty cool scene. This scene's elevated because they were cutting between present day Shauna and past Shauna, so this elevated the scene more. I'm just not talking about that right now. You'll get to that later on.
Yeah,
but
yeah, in the present day with the Shauna scene, it's kind of left ambiguous what's going on. But if with the cutting between the past and the present, there's a heavy implication that the person Shauna's dealing with in the present is this girl.
Yeah. But this is a really interesting twist to Shauna's plot line. I'm not sure if Shauna has feelings with this girl, or if this is just the first time that anyone's really shown like really any interest and like in Shauna. And Shauna's just like she doesn't really know what to make of her emotions right now because she's just lost so much. She's just lashing out. And
yeah, I was gonna say we have no reason to assume Shauna actually likes this girl. I just kind of figured it was a mix of like, she's grieving and she wants somebody to like, be with, and a big thing. And again, I reference this a lot when Jackie said, like you're always in my shadow, like you want to be me. I kind of figured this was an extension of that. Shauna wants somebody who like wants her.
Yeah. So,
and the same reason why Adam is like she liked that Adam wanted her.
Yeah, so this is really interesting. It was like the end of the episode too, which was pretty cool. And I liked how it ended. I would have ended it with a Ben scene. That's just me being selfish there and a little biased, but
well, I guess I also to mention the Shauna thing. I'm kind of curious about how this is going to go because, well, I remember back when we first did episode 1 of like season 1. I was thinking that Shauna liked Jackie.
Yeah.
And that she was jealous that Jackie had a boyfriend, and I was like surprised that Shauna was hooking up with Jeff. So, and then now Shauna's making out with a girl, and I was like, oh, so I mean, I guess obviously the easy explanation is she's bi, but I'm just kind of curious, or I don't know what they're gonna do with that. Maybe she is straight and she just like is like fuck it, kind of in a weird way. She like is like desperate for anybody.
Yeah. This brought up an interesting point here, though, because...
or, like, if she is full-on, like, just gay, like, she did love Jackie, and she just, like, wanted to be with Jeff to, like, be vicariously be with Jackie, like, through him.
Yeah, because, again, this is the 90s, and, like, lesbian and gayness really isn't accepted that much back then, so it kind of makes sense. Like, that's why Ben's so afraid to, like, reveal... to be open and everything like that, so that makes a lot of sense. And then when they and if Shauna is flat out gay, I think that kind of is a cool intrigue of like why her and Jeff's relationship is always strained and everything like that.
Yeah, So again, I mean, obviously, I think the easiest explanation is she's just bisexual.
Yeah.
But I feel like it'd be more interesting if they do the, like she's straight and she's just like so desperate that she's willing to be in a gay relationship, or she's a lesbian and she's like, because of her guilt, she ended up being with Jeff. I think those are the two more interesting routes. But I guess, again, the easiest explanation is that she's bi. So again, I mean, the show isn't like, it's not bad if that's how they do it. I just think the more interesting routes would be, the other two.
Definitely.
I also like that Shauna was like so defensive of like she kept saying my baby, like she is like, I don't want to say selfish, possessive, I guess, like that's kind of what it seems like. She is possessive of things, like she wants to claim things as hers.
Yeah, I like that. An interesting thing that was brought up is obviously, we talked about this off camera, like what happened off screen with Taissa and Shauna, because obviously they've had like a very strong friendship and everything like that. And it seems like that's not much of a case right now because they haven't really talked much like this season. I know it's only 2 episodes, but still, it seems like something happened off screen that we probably should have seen that like ruined that relationship.
Yeah. Or recast girls lying to her, like maybe not everyone is afraid of her.
You mean no, Backwards Hat Girl, this recast.
Sorry. Maybe Backwards Cat Girl's lying. We don't know. Speaking of, I was going to mention, so I mentioned before last episode that Mari and Shauna having a beef kind of makes sense because before, like, they had kind of thrown shade at each other a few times.
Yeah.
So, like, I was like, okay, I can buy that. That has kind of become like a larger conflict with that, because they again, we didn't get much on Mari in the last 2 seasons, but like what we did get of her, I'm like, yeah, it seems like her and Shauna didn't really get along. With this fucking, I mean, again, Backwards Cap Girl has talked like 3 times, so her just like making out with Shauna felt really out of nowhere.
Very much so. They definitely wanted, like, I think a twist to end off this episode, and this was probably...
Yeah. It was like a twist, and they're like, okay, we want to use Backwards Cap Girl for, like, a thing.
Especially because she's going to be in the present, they have to start doing stuff with her in the past, as we'll get to.
Yeah. And I'm going to mention in the present that I'm like, okay, kind of a little annoyed that we keep introducing fucking YellowJackets who are just alive that nobody's ever mentioned before.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that. But let's get to the thing that's the highlight of the... Well... We're not quite there yet, but it's connected to the highlight of the episode. But we got to talk about Natalie and Misty's little road trip that they have before we get there. So Natalie and Misty are hanging out. Misty's talking about like Molly and like Shauna's beef and everything like that. And Natalie mentioned that we're gonna go south, and I kind of like this because Misty mentions, she brings the conversation back around to Ben burning down the cabin, and Natalie is very like passive, basically saying like "Fudge Coach Scotty didn't know shit about me," because Misty mentions that like obviously Natalie and Ben will like obviously forming a friendship and everything like that, which makes sense because obviously it was like through the Misty shit that like formed that friendship and everything like that type of thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a cool. So it's I guess it'd be a triangle because it's 3 people versus.
Well, like I said, I really like that they paired them up this way, and this feels like a natural way to do it. Like they both care about Ben, so it makes sense they would be the ones to kind of like be together.
Yeah, and Ben, not Ben. I jumped ahead, but Natalie, because Misty's like questioning if Ben really did burn down the cabin, and if he did, like, what would we do about it, type of thing. And Natalie just doesn't really want to talk about it. She's kind of being like, just kind of brushing off like any relationship she had with Ben or everything like that. And I think you're meant to think this is pretty genuine, but then a few things go by, and then Natalie sees that a trap has been set, and Huh?
I made a Star Wars reference. It's a trap.
Oh, okay. Well, you didn't say trap, so I'm like, what the hell?
Huh?
You didn't say trap, so I'm like, what the hell are you saying? Type of thing. So.
Oh, I see. But yeah, we're not there yet, so you don't get it.
We'll probably get there soon. We just won't do that video. So.
Oh,
But Misty's trying to hide the trap from. No, sorry, Natalie's trying to hide the trap from Misty, and I like this because this kind of shows that Natalie was lying about Ben. Like she has like a feeling probably that Ben's alive out there somewhere, just not exactly sure where. But you know, then Misty says like, "Oh look, a trap's been set," and they think that Molly set the trap, but obviously Misty's like pointed out like, who do you think could have set this trap? And Natalie kind of tries to BS by saying like, it's probably just one of our traps and everything like that. And she tells Misty, because they're originally gonna go find berries for Molly since she presumably hasn't eaten for a few days. It just says like, look, let's just go this way, because there's berries this way. So pretty much what Natalie did here was she has a feeling Ben is in the direction they were going in, and she basically set Misty to go like a completely opposite direction. And obviously Misty gets suspicious about this. So I really like this. That you know, Natalie doesn't have any hatred towards Ben, even if he did burn down the cabin. Because again, from what she knows, he probably did. And this makes you question like, what does Natalie actually think of like Ben and everything like that type of thing. And then later on when they go back to camp, you know, Misty pulls Shauna aside before she did her plot at the end. And I don't know why, but she told Shauna, I think, you know, Natalie knows where Coach Ben is. At first, Shauna wasn't interested with whatever Misty was going to say, but then when she says that, Shauna's like, did you tell the others? And Misty's like, no, I haven't told anyone. And Shauna says, okay, don't tell anyone. So this makes me question, what is Shauna planning here? Because obviously, is she gonna like try to find Coach Ben herself, or like use this information to try to like get Natalie voted out of being Antler Queen type of thing? Because I'm pretty interested in this. Now I do question why didn't Misty only tell Shauna, the one that's been like the outcast of the whole group, and didn't tell like Thaisa, Van, Travis.
It's a little weird because Misty only ever really interacted with Ben and Crystal. Obviously, neither of them are here. So it's like it's kind of like Misty had to tell somebody, and I guess it ended up being Shauna.
Yeah. But I like this. I kind of like that we got like a Natalie, Misty pair up in the past. I like the fact that like they're doing something with, you know, what is Natalie's feelings on Coach Ben. Now, before I get to the most interesting plot of the whole episode, I have a feeling we're going to make a mistake here because we're about to talk about this plot in the past, and then everything we talk about in the present will just be downhill. But we have to make this mistake because it's in the past. But what do you think of Natalie's and Misty's little plot they had going on here?
I liked it. Again, kind of continuing, you know, it is an extension of the Ben plot, which I liked. Misty and Natalie kind of having complicated feelings towards Ben based on the last 2 seasons. Good job. I really like it when these things have build up to it, you know, like these are relationships that have, you know, prior scenes to build up to it. So I appreciate it. You know, and again, I like that Natalie's feelings are complicated where she knows everybody else blames Ben for the cabin burning down and hates him. So she kind of, well, I'm not sure how much of it is an act and how much of it is she's genuinely like conflicted on Ben.
Yeah.
You know? It seems like she's more so defensive. Like she did genuinely care about Ben, and now that he's gone, she's kind of telling herself that they weren't close.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. I like that. And again, like I said, Misty and Natalie haven't really had many scenes together, but them kind of bonding over their shared relationship with Ben is nice. You know, I feel like that's a good natural way to get them like talking instead of just them in a room together when they have never talked before. Travis and Van.
Do you notice the common denominator here about why this plot is good? Because Ben.
Old Ben 10 himself.
But I was gonna ask a question that I had. I do. this past 2 episodes, I'm wondering what Natalie's role in the past is gonna be, because obviously we're in new territory where like now the character in the present's dead, so like it seems like Natalie's not getting as much focus. I kind of hope that just because like there's other stuff going on.
Well, I was gonna say, like, just because she's not alive in the present, she should still get as much screen time in the past, right? Is my assumption.
Yeah, but I'm saying it doesn't seem. It seems like because she's dead in the because these past 2 episodes, she's kind of been not in the background. Like she's still given stuff to do.
She's not like a main focus. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, Natalie's one of the more interesting characters, if not the most interesting character in the past, besides the Giga Chad Ben himself. So I'm hoping Natalie kind of gets her own plot.
Yeah, I kind of hope it's just because
the Ben's. It should be like a Natalie and Ben plot.
Yeah, I kind of hope it's just because there's been other stuff like going on. We're trying to establish this new world they've built, so I hope like Natalie gets more stuff to do in the past. Right now, it seems like she's not getting as much focus as.
And I mean, I think the conflict could be obviously everyone hates Ben, whereas Natalie is like in charge of the group, so that could be a really good conflict if they capture Ben. Like, does Natalie go along with everybody's wishes and like kill him? Or does she kind of try to go against the group and like help him out,
Yeah, that'd be interesting. But we're talking about, the common denominator about why the show is good. Why he saved season 2 single-handedly only with one leg. We were wondering what's going to happen with Ben and everything like that. So we pick right up. This is how the episode actually started with Molly in the pit. And again, that's really good foreshadowing if she's Pit Girl.
If she is, then this is a little awkward.
Yeah. It's like, by the way, did you hear like a crazy conspiracy theory that someone's had about Pit Girl? It's really nuts.
What, it's something stupid like it's Shauna somehow?
No, they're thinking that like it's someone wrote on like the Reddits and stuff that it's Callie, and they did like some time travel bullshit, and it's like Callie.
And that's fucking stupid.
I kind of want them to.
How did he? So everybody would just be like, "What the fuck is this girl?"
That'd be funny. One that's not bad is like that scene's actually in the.
Well, I guess everyone would just assume that like, oh look, it's another fucking another YellowJacket spawned out of the hellhole.
Yeah. One I think is pretty interesting is like someone's predicting that the scene that we see in the future is actually the present, but that wouldn't make sense either because they like.
Because we saw young Misty.
Maybe that's all. I don't know, but I feel like people are going with this too because the actress like posted an Instagram post of her like visiting the set. I assume it's just probably she just went to like see the set get shot or something, or she like probably. But again, that's
else, yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, if Callie's Pickle, that's gonna be hilarious if that's right. Like, yeah.
Well, I don't know how the fuck they would manage that, but I'd be down for it. It'd probably be so fucking stupid.
But anyhow, let's get to some good stuff. So, we find out that Molly, can't stand because she dislocated her knee / her ankle / her leg / everything. I just decided to do all the double whammy in there just so we know it's in the leg area that's dislocated.
Everything is dislocated. Every bone in her body is dislocated.
Why not? So she can't.
Ben's like, oh, Mari, can you not fucking stand up? Is your leg not working? Oh, that's how bad for you. I can't even fucking imagine.
Yeah, Ben comes over, and again, we didn't hear Ben talk. Really much, but it seems like he's in his normal behavior. He's actually like having a conversation with Molly. They have some good banter like back and forth, which I think is pretty funny because obviously that banter like was in season 2, so I kind of like that it carried over like here. And Ben is trying to coach her because she has to put like relocate her knee back together.
Red versus Blue relocated.
Yes. This is really cool though because Molly can't do it herself, and Coach Ben obviously can't do it because he can't even really go down there himself, and obviously I think he has to have like he has to have like good footing behind him to do it type of thing, and Coach Ben even mentions, like, that I can't, like, do it for you. Like, you have to, like, actually do it. And the longer you wait, the worse it's going to hurt. And she's able to do it. And then we see, like, later on, Ben's gone away. And Molly's calling for Coach Ben, like, asking for help and everything like that. And she's trying to get Ben to save her life, be like, look, I never believed that you burnt the cabin down. And this was interesting because this Ben comes back over and he looked very surprised that the cabin burned down. And, he even says, like, the cabin burned down. Yeah. And Molly's like, how did you not know that? Like, the cabin burned for, like, weeks. And Ben mentions that good, and it's like, if this is a lie, which I don't think it is, but he actually mentions a good point. Like, I've actually been trying to stay far away from you guys. And that makes a lot of sense, because, Ben has seen them go to cannibalism. They've seen them hunt Harvey. And like we've mentioned, he wouldn't really stand a good chance if he tried to run himself because he's only got one leg. So it makes sense that he's going to try to, like, stay as far away as possible from them, type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is kind of my... Because I was 100% certain he had burned the cabin down, like, for last season. And then you mentioned to me that, like, it's actually left ambiguous. And I was pretty 50-50 on it. And then this scene kind of got me thinking he didn't do it. Because he doesn't really have a reason to lie here, like you said, he was just going to fuck off. Like, he wasn't really going to do anything with Mari.
Yeah.
But as soon as Mari said that, he kind of, like, came back and he started, like, talking to her. And he was like, like, he has no reason to, like lie about, like, not knowing about the cabin burning down.
Right. But Molly begs Ben to help her up, and Ben throws a rope down, and she ties herself to it, and Ben pulls her up, and I think it's just gonna be normal. Because Ben, we haven't seen Ben do anything really drastic either, so you think Ben's just gonna help her out and just be a good dude, and then she's about to, like, untie herself and everything like that. And then Ben trips her and ties her up. And this was very interesting, and Ben kind of becomes a little villainous here and says, like, look, I don't want to hurt you, but now that you've seen me, I can't risk you going back and telling the others I'm alive. And this makes a lot of sense because Molly mentions that the cabin burned down, and she says, like, they think they did it. They have, like, a reason to go hunt him and everything like that type of thing.
Yeah. And, I mean, Ben makes a great point where Mari's like, well, wait, if you didn't do it, then, like, you have nothing to worry about. And Ben's like, oh, please, like that group would believe that, Like, I saw what you... He calls them the mob, specifically. And I'm like, you know what, Ben, making the fucking fantastic points, like, it doesn't matter if I didn't do it. They're not going to believe me.
Yeah. And, again, from Ben's perspective, like... Because I forgot to mention this, like, Nally was pretty vague about... Because the group technically didn't hunt Harvey, but, like, again, they still... Ben doesn't know, like, the group actually wasn't hunting Harvey type of thing, so... And
Right. And, yeah, exactly. Like, as far as he knows, they fucking hunted him down, killed him, and ate him, And, I mean, that wasn't... I mean, to be fair, the truth isn't even that much better. If they were going to kill Natalie, and then Travis died, and then Harvey died accidentally. That's not much better.
Yeah. But, he says, like, I can't let the others know that I'm alive and know where I am. And, again, because Molly's seen him. And I like this. Like, Ben doesn't have a plan here, but he has to, like, figure something out. But he's gonna basically take Molly prisoner until he can figure out what to do with her. And
I like this. Ben was like a full-on fucking crazy villain. That'd be shitty. I like that. You said it off camera. They're really making him, like, morally gray. Like, he doesn't want to kill her, Yeah. And I thought taking her prisoner and then, like, bringing her back to his hideout was like, oh, that'd be so stupid because then she's gonna know where he is, and if she escapes, then everyone will know where he was.
Let me get to that. That's
part about this. He fucking blindfolded her, first, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Thank you, Ben.
He's just making all the smart choices here.
And again, obviously, like, obviously, like, the quote unquote smartest thing to do would be just kill her. But I'm like, obviously, Ben's never killed any before. The whole reason he doesn't like all of them is because they're killing each other.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense why Ben wouldn't want to kill her. I wouldn't fucking want to kill her in that situation. You know, like it makes sense. You know, like Ben isn't stupid in the scene. I like that.
I think even though he doesn't want to kill her, it would actually like, because again, Ben has to also be smart about how to kill her and dispose of the body. Because if he does, like, if he kills her, it has to be like, it has to look like an animal did it, type of thing too, type of thing.
Right. Well, yeah, like I'm saying, I'm just glad they didn't make Ben a full-on evil villain of like, I must kill you immediately. You know, like I like that he's like, again, morally gray here.
Yeah. So then, you know, Ben takes her to the hideout, and obviously Molly is like trying to plead her case, saying that like, you know, like you're on about us, like we haven't. She even mentions that they haven't like been hunting anymore or anything like that. Like they've started to raise animals and everything like that. And I like that Ben doesn't buy it because obviously, again, he's probably. Again, this is Ben. This is the smart thing about Ben. He thinks long term. Like he knows it's gonna get winter like soon and everything like that. And if they've done it before, they'll obviously like do it again when there's no food left or anything like that. Again, Ben is just he's making all the right decisions and everything like that.
Ben can never be wrong.
And he gives her some hot chocolate, and I really like this. She like really starts sipping the hot chocolate because again, this is like the closest thing to like food or like really any liquids that she's really had type of thing.
I love how she was like, it was a good mix of like just slurping it down, but also like savoring it. And it reminds me of the Lottie dream thing she had during like the competition, where she imagined being back at like the mall and like eating food with everybody.
Yeah. Oh, I want to make sure I mention this because we didn't mention this off camera. I think Molly was the good choice to be like in this situation with Ben because if you picked like Natalie, you would take Natalie's side. If you picked like Lottie, Shauna, you would take Ben's side. I think Molly is the perfect like shades of gray type of thing where Ben is kind of Ben has kind of had issues with Molly, and Molly, you know, has been like on Lottie's cult side and everything like that, but also Ben's kind of doing something wrong here. So I think Molly added that good contrast.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a good you know, like you can't really pick a side here. Well, I mean, again, like I understand where Ben's coming from. You know, like I would kind of be in this situation too of like, fuck, I don't know what to do here.
Yeah.
You know.
And again, we talk about this. Ben is still making all the great decisions, but I didn't talk about this yet because he walks off camera, and we find out that he's got a few screws loose because we see that he's talking to somebody off camera, like asking, like, "What the hell do I do now?" type of thing, and. Apparently this is some big mystery in the show. I don't think it is. It's obvious that Ben's gone crazy and he's just like talking to himself and everything like that.
Well, it is a little weird because remember Javi said that like she told me not to come back.
That's true.
So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe if this is like a supernatural thing of like there's like a spirit in the cave or something.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think of that. But
if it's not supernatural, then I guess they just went. Yeah, he's going a little crazy. He's going a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
But again, if Ben's going a little crazy, the fact that he's still making all these great decisions and he's going a little crazy, I think just shows how great his character like is.
All right, nobody else has an excuse. All right, Ben is going fucking nuts, and he's still fucking smart. All right, like nobody.
I want to point this out too. Ben is like the only form of like human contact he's had is what he's called this mob for like what probably a little like. Probably
months, you know, like we said, they kind of, like you said, they probably cut like 4 months into the future. I'm like, wow.
Mm-hmm. So, I really like this. I really like Ben's plot line. I think I love it too. He's finally getting the A plot. He deserves this A plot. He did a lot of great work in season 2. He deserves this. And again, it's just
season.
And yeah, he definitely isn't. But I feel like, you know, YellowJackets has been trying to do the morally gray storyline, like with Lottie, with Shauna a little bit, with Jeff. They did really well with Jeff, but I think Ben's the one they really nailed it with. He's in the exact situation that if we were all in, we would be probably making the decisions. And again, I like that Ben doesn't have all the answers, but he's trying to do the best that he can with what he's given, type of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel like, because I rip into the characters a lot for doing dumb shit, and I'm like, I am okay with characters making mistakes, you know? Like, that is fine. Nobody's perfect. I understand characters not doing the correct thing all the time. What I don't like is when they do things that are just blatantly stupid, like the writers just want it to happen, so they're going to make the characters super dumb. or they do stuff that like is not in their character, which we're gonna get to for my storyline.
Yeah. So, and yeah, we talked about this off camera. I hope whatever Ben gets, he gets, because again, we know he's not making it out of the season. I hope he gets a proper death. Because again, we could take, as bad as we don't like that Natalie got a bad death. I feel like Natalie, in a weird way, her storyline was so bad. Her getting a bad death, I guess, fit that storyline, I guess, type of thing. Ben has been nothing but hits. I would be really and I think Ben, his character in the show is like the thing that we've been the most invested in. It would be really disappointed if he gets like a shitty death.
Yeah. And I really hope his death is fitting for his character because I really like him. And I think you said like you're expecting is like that it's going to be hard to drag out the storyline. I'm really hoping they like figure something out. Obviously, I don't want the storyline to be bad. I'm hoping it's good, and I hope Ben is around for most of the season. If you're going to kill him off, Ben's been a pretty important character so far. I think killing him off as like the episode 9 or 10 would be the best thing to do. I feel like killing him like halfway through the season would be a mistake. Because we're already episode 2 out of 10.
Yeah, they could probably get away with it. Maybe they could have like a couple episodes that like Ben and Molly like aren't in type of thing.
I guess because I'm like, have Mari be with Ben for an episode or two.
Yeah.
Then she like somehow he gets captured. Maybe have like an episode or two where they're like debating what to do with him. And then like I'm like you can stretch this out for the season. I feel like.
Yeah, I hope so. I want Ben to get the death that he deserves because I feel like too what's gonna make Ben's death so heartbreaking. We talked about he's been the one character that we've praised that's made all the right decisions in life. That's kind of how it is. You can make all the right decisions in life, but you can still be
people. Yeah.
So I feel like that would be a very fitting death to like Ben's character.
Yeah, and I think we already said it, but like it'd be a really cool thing of like, they kill Ben for burning down the cabin. But then it's revealed that, he didn't do it. And, like, how does everybody else react to that? Of, like, oh, shit, we killed an innocent man for no reason. Because remember, like Mari said, they have food now. If they killed Ben, not even to just survival, just to kill him, and they did it for essentially no reason, that'd be really interesting. Assuming everyone else, like, has an appropriate reaction to that. If they just kill him and don't give a fuck, that'd be really shitty.
Yeah, I feel like I don't mind if Shauna doesn't give a fuck because of what she's going through right now. That kind of would fit her character, but like I feel like some people.
Natalie, if she ends up being responsible for Ben's death, and they end up finding out he didn't burn down the cabin.
Yeah.
Maybe be what prompts her to start taking drugs.
Travis
she can't handle.
Travis would be interesting because him and Ben have kind of had a little bit of a relationship in season 1.
That's what because obviously Travis doesn't want to take the drugs Lottie's giving him. Maybe, like, wrongfully killing Ben is what gets them to start taking the drugs, like, more regularly.
Yeah.
Again, Shauna, I don't know what to think of Shauna. It's like, Shauna seems really interested in finding Ben, which is weird because they have, like, not talked at all before.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. And
I'm like, I don't know why Shauna would hate him, really, because, like, I mean, obviously, like, Jackie and the baby were dead long before the cabin burned down.
Yeah, and Ben hasn't done her like long.
That's what I'm saying. Ben hasn't done anything like to her specifically, So I'm like, I'm curious about that.
Yeah. A cool thing too, because we mentioned the cabin burning down. I hope we get an answer on that this season. They don't keep that vague because obviously they've kept a lot of things like vague. I hope we actually have a definitive answer down the cabin. And I was thinking. They bring back the Thaisa sleepwalking storyline and maybe she burned down the cabin sleepwalking. That could be something. Or it'd be funny if like they take the Fire Lord method and it was like one of them like left a candle lit or like knocked something down and they're like just threw their hands up type of thing and blame like that thing where they said the Fire Lord burned down that forest and then you made that joke. It's like one of them that like started a fire by accident.
I actually like fucked with it. Yeah. It's like, the Fire Nation must have done it. That's crazy. Oh my god.
So like one of the characters, like I feel like too, it's gonna be like It's gonna be the character like the one that got casted in like this season. Like she actually did it. That's why she's in the show.
Yeah, like they're like killing Ben for burning down the cabin, and she's just in the corner whistling like. Doo, 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 doo.
I really don't want to make these jokes though, because knowing this show, they might actually go that path. So.
Yeah, I know, right? We're saying these things as jokes. We are not being serious here. Please don't do that.
I'm pretty sure the Harvey thing, we kept making a joke out of it. That ended up being actually Harvey's.
Yeah, I know. Fucking joking about how he kept disappearing. Fucking yeah.
But yeah, we just got Ben's plot line, and the past overall. I like the past overall. I think we talked about this off camera. I think the past so far has been better than the present, and I like Ben's plot line.
Consistent throughout the show.
Huh?
That's been pretty consistent throughout the show.
Yeah, but what do you think of Ben's plot line in the past overall? This episode.
I like that. Again, I like that Ben is like kind of his morality is pretty gray. His decisions are understandable. I feel kind of bad for Maury in the situation. She's kind of been dealt a shitty hand here. I love that moment where she is like savoring the hot chocolate.
Do you realize what you just said? You actually feel bad for Maui for a change.
I know. I'm surprised. Fucking last episode kind of made me feel bad for her too. I'm like, show, what are you doing? Are you making me like not fucking hate Maury's guts? Like, I am surprised. I still hate her guts right now, but hey, maybe that'll change.
Maybe you'll hate her guts for good reasons, the way you're supposed to hate her guts. So
I don't hate her for like actually good reasons instead of the show just making her a cunt for no reason.
Is that the greatness of Ben's character though that you actually feel sorry for Molly? That could be a question right there.
I feel like her being around makes her great. Like Ben's greatness rubs off on people.
Maybe it's not Ben. Maybe it's this, because if you watch this actor do interviews, he's really good. Like maybe it's this actor that plays Ben.
Yeah, honestly, that could be part of it. He is a fucking good actor. I really get like the kind of going crazy look, but he's also like barely holding it together. Like he's doing a really good job. So I guess now moving on to 2021, aka the present.
I kind of doubt you're shouting. I kind of doubt you're shouting a shitty hand, but this is revenge. You know what? I didn't plan this ahead of time, but this is revenge for in RVB season 9 when you maybe talk about the Reds plot in the present, because I got dealt with shitty.
Hey, I'm gonna come back to Tyson Van's plot because that's not a very interesting start. I'm gonna talk about the plot that takes up the majority of this episode, and that is Shauna and Jeff's plot.
Go for it.
Yeah, because Tyson Van's plot is separate from like all of this. Like it is kind of just its own thing.
It's been a very Thaisa thin throughout this show.
Yeah. So we are getting another day in the life of of this household. Jeff is getting ready for a work dinner, and Sean is trying to get out of it because it's like a boring like business meeting essentially, where Jeff is trying to make a deal to get like a hotel business owners to buy his furniture for their properties. And Shauna is like even asking like, oh God, are these guys like stuck up assholes? And Jeff is like, I like this moment where Jeff is like, it looks like he's going to reassure her. And it's like, oh honey, of course they are.
I liked that. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. Kind of showing that like Jeff doesn't really want to do this either, but like, it's business.
Makes sense for Jeff because, this getting this deal could really not necessarily like make them rich or anything like that, but it's a good thing for like his business and everything like that.
Well, I got like Ben. Ben. Jeff is like this because obviously the shop was going into debt in season 1, and that's why he had the blackmail. And we didn't get really much on the shop last season, but from what little bit we did get, presumably after he got the money, he was able to turn things around, and business has been good now.
Yeah, that's good.
But this is pretty consistent. He doesn't want the shop to go back into debt, so making big deals like this is kind of like his way of securing he doesn't have to go back into debt.
Yeah, I can't go back down the blackmailing path because all that shit's burnt down and everything.
Exactly, that went fucking horribly. So I get why Jeff is like so focused on like securing these big deals.
I would love if they did it again and they fall for it again type of thing. They don't.
Yeah, he's like, okay, so honey, I might have gone to the same loan sharks, and I might have blackmailed your friends again.
I love it too. If like Adam's like one of Adam's relatives, it's like that SpongeBob thing and the Employee of the Month thing. And
Adam's twin brother jat him.
Gets in like a car crash with Shauna, and like the whole plot happens all over.
I can't believe we got rear-ended. What are the odds?
And it's just
Shauna kills him again, and then she find out that fucking it was Jeff again. Like, oh, honey, it's like a sitcom thing of like, honey, did you blackmail us again? It's like, oh, you know me.
That'd be awesome. And they have to cover it up again, and Misty fucks it up again.
I know, right? And then they do it a third time. It's their other brother, Adam. You know, you got to go down the alphabet.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But you know, kidding aside, you know, like I said, I like it when characters are pretty consistent. This is a very minor thing, but you know, it's consistent. Jeff cares about the shop, you know, and after what happened in season 1, he wants to, you know, be financially in the green. You know, like, good job, Joe. You're making the characters be consistent.
It doesn't happen very often in the present of this episode.
Yeah, again, we're gonna get to that, so I gotta give the praise where it's due. But Shauna opens the front door, and who else is it but Lottie? I wasn't expecting her to be back so soon, but she's back. And she asks Shauna to stay the night. And Shauna makes the fucking correct decision to say fuck no and slam the door in her face. Mm-hmm. And the credits for this episode should have rolled right there. There you go. That's the end of that.
Oh, they do the Family Guy joke where, like, they seem like they're gonna do the credits. I don't know if you've seen this episode, but, like, Stewie, like, it's like, oh, Brian seems like his job. I'm just gonna do nothing. Like, the credits rolled, and then it's all like Brian. And Stewie was like, nope, gotta get him fired.
Oh, I didn't see that one. That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
Lottie coming back was, I guess, a little disappointing. She just went back to Shauna. Like,
yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
I would have liked if there was an episode like this. Would have been really cool. Like, Callie, without anyone knowing about it, like, went and visited Lottie in the mental asylum. I thought that would have been cool.
Yeah, I don't like it because it feels like the end of last season basically didn't have any consequences now, you know? Like, I figured Lottie was going to come back eventually. But when they mentioned that she was in a mental institute after what happened last season, I'm like, okay, cool. We'll have a couple episodes where Lottie's, like, MIA. And then, yeah, maybe we'll have an episode about her in the asylum and then, like, her getting out.
No.
But no, she's just back, you know? She was fucking gone for one episode. Now she's back. And they even asked her, like, weren't you put in, like, a mental institute? And she's like, yeah, they let me go. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, murder just happened on you were running a cult, but I guess you can be let go.
Yeah, okay. Those guys were not great at their job.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah,
don't forget they. I want to remind you of this because this was how stupid it was. The only reason they didn't come sooner was because Thais and Van called and said, like, nope, don't come. No one put two and two together and talk about how suspicious that was. Like, they weren't coming, and then they just sat, and then they got a call. No, they were coming, and then they got a call and said, like, no, I guess we don't have to. Someone really didn't want to do the job that day. They must have gotten, like, the slacks.
No, right? That thing is so. We're not even gonna get into that. That whole thing was so fucking strange. But yeah, Lottie keeps knocking, and so Shauna reluctantly lets her in the house because, you know, she doesn't want the neighbors questioning why this weird schizophrenic lady is, like, at their door. Which, okay, fine, I get it. You know, obviously you just dealt with the whole getting out of a murder charge. So I get not wanting to, like, bring attention to yourself.
Sure.
And again, wouldn't really bring her in the house, but, like, okay, I get it. For now, sure.
I'd say come in the backyard or something.
Yeah, I'm like, just maybe bring her around back. I would not bring her inside the house. But, you know, there's still, Jeff and Shauna are still being like, no, Lottie, you cannot stay here.
Yeah. And again, Jeff and Shauna aren't, like, perfect too, and I can kind of buy that they would let her in the house, not thinking, like, clearly type of thing.
Yeah, so, like, get her off the front lawn. Again, I'm like, okay, fine. I'm fine with that. Because, again, they're not letting her stay. That'd be ridiculous. That'd be stupid. But they're just getting her away from, like, the public. And they're like, no, you cannot stay with us. Because, yeah, Lottie got let out of the mental institute for some fucking reason. And I guess she mentions pretty offhandedly that her cult's gone. So I guess all the purple people went home. I guess.
Yeah. Which
Okay. That's kind of weird thing to just offhandedly mention like that.
Yeah, that was really disappointing because they mentioned like she lost her community. There could have been a build up to that, but I guess it's just gone.
Well, I'm also how like okay, so like I get their leader is gone, but like I mean, nobody out. Like the whole thing is like gone, like all of it. Like how?
You would think if Lottie was this, I don't know how cults work, but I would think they would have someone else in line to like take it over if like the main one goes away.
They would have like a kind of like a vice president or something to kind of because I mean, fucking Lottie wasn't even gone that long. It's been like what, like a month or two?
This must not have been a very good cult.
I know, right? And like they own property, they own animals, they had shit. Like they presumably had money coming in. Like what happened to all that? Like you can't just do that. You can't just fucking disappear it overnight.
They blew it all on drugs, I guess.
Sure, why not? They had a big fucking orgy and they all fucked off, I guess.
By the way, that just
fucking fork girl. I guess she just fucked off.
Again, I figured that was gonna happen. I remember there was like an interview that like they did like shortly after Natalie's death. They were like talking about all these storylines that could happen of how to bring her back. I'm like, none of these are gonna happen. Come on, like they're not coming back.
Yeah,
but yeah, I guess the whole cult's gone.
Yeah, that's a thing. Again, I'm fine with her cult being gone. It's just like it was so sudden. Like it was literally just like mentioned offhand. Like
after 6 weeks, how does a cult? Because she built that cult for like years. How could it be gone after 6 weeks? Like
I know. Like, and again, you figure that you have like a vice president or something to just like hold the reins while she came back.
Maybe he's gone too. I don't know. Maybe,
I guess all of them. Like I don't know. Again, I'm fine with it being gone, but you can't just do that off screen. You gotta explain. That was like the whole thing from last season.
They stayed that we were there all of last season. It's just gone like that.
Yeah, literally just off screen. It's like, okay, that could have been interesting, but I guess not.
But I know like this happened with Gus when he died and his whole thing fell down, but that makes sense because he was the one, and it did all fall down. That like some of the stuff stayed up. Like,
well, I mean that would make sense because like the police like found out about his drug thing,
yeah,
and like rounded up most of. Well, I mean even then, it wasn't all of it. You know, like Madrigal, you know, with Lydia, like she was still in the. She even mentioned like it was just like
a fast food one, yeah,
one part of the company that was under investigation. You know.
Yeah, but no, I guess the whole cult's go. What happened to all the animals? What happened to where'd everybody go?
Yeah, like fucking property. Like they had a whole fucking like town.
I don't understand.
What happened to all the people? Like they literally mentioned. Jeff is gonna mention in a minute that like why can't Lottie go stay at like a purple person's house? You know, like what the fuck happened?
What happened? Why do they?
And you might be saying, this is such a minor part. It's because it's mentioned in like one sentence, like and it's like that's it. That's all we get on.
And we had to
like this is all of season 2. That is all of season 2, the cult storyline, and it's just like brushed off, like so like nonchalantly.
I hate to say this, but like, shit, CT got his own like little plot that like alongside like his thing.
I know, like its own little thing, and it's like he fucking sucked.
Why do we have to deal with shit TT? But like the cult was actually like pretty solid, and like we don't even get that. We had to deal with shit TT.
I know, right? And again, the cult was interesting. You could do so many things with that.
Well,
it's on now.
What the hell?
Unless they're lying, but like I don't know how they would do that.
Unless what?
Unless Lottie's lying or somehow, or like the cult's still around.
I don't know. I feel like the cult's.
It's like it's gone, and I'm like, okay, what the fuck do you mean it's gone?
No, I like to. This is like a serious moment in the show. I feel like too, you would go completely off script if like they had Lottie say that. I'd be like, wait, what the fuck do you mean it's gone? Like,
I kind of didn't even really like think about it until I was actually saying, I'm like, wait a minute,
I was
like, gone. Because again, like this isn't a minor thing. This was all of season 2 right there.
Just done. Not just season 2, by the way. The end of season 1, because they kidnapped Natalie. So it's like,
bro, you're right. So yeah, that's fucking strange. I don't know why they would do that.
This is kind of an example. It's like Because this shit was built up for like years, and like the main cast just like burned that shit down. Like, oh my gosh.
Like in like a night. They killed it all in like a night.
How do you kill something off in like a night? I don't understand this.
Clue. But yeah. So I guess the cult's gone. And decides to crash at Shauna's. But again, Jeff and Shauna are making the correct decision, and they bring up good points of like, okay, you tried to kill Shauna, and you're fucking crazy. So no, you cannot stay here. And also, you tried to kill Shauna in front of her daughter.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of her daughter, Callie comes in, and she's obviously seems pretty disturbed that Lottie's here.
I think it's hilarious too. Like,
interested in Callie.
Yeah.
Like Lottie's like staring at Callie, and like it keeps trying to get near her.
I think it's hilarious, by the way, that like Lottie tried to blame like Jeff for like bringing Callie to like the community, but it's like, how could Jeff have fucking like known like all that shit was going on?
All that happened, yeah.
I don't think Callie just fucked off and did her own thing. Like Jeff wasn't like.
But again, as far as Jeff and Callie knew, they were just dropping Shauna off to like hang out with her friends for a little while. You know, like they didn't fucking know all that shit was gonna happen.
Lottie, wow, this show really just makes you hate present day Lottie, doesn't it? Like, I'm trying.
And then Lottie tries to guilt them, being like, okay, well, you know, I guess I'll leave. I hope that night has ruined me enough to, like, your satisfaction or something. And I'm like, Lottie, you can't guilt. You tried to murder Shauna.
Yes, you did.
You can't. And, like, now you're like, I hope you're happy that my life is ruined because I tried to murder you.
I was quite
happy. It's like, you can't fucking do that. What the fuck?
We're back to season 2 problems where everyone's just making shitty decisions, I guess.
Yeah. And then, so she's about to leave, and then Callie is like, no, she could stay. So Callie, I guess I'll say it now, Callie's motivation for this seems to be that she wants to find out more about what happened out in the wilderness. Like, she wants to get a better idea of, like, why her mom is the way she is. I get it. You know, like, Shauna obviously doesn't want to talk about it. And I mentioned this to Owen off camera. So Jeff knows about what happened. And Callie knows Jeff knows because Jeff talked about the first baby that died.
Yeah. And, you know, this is one thing I want to make sure I come back to. That's what makes all of Shauna's plot lines in the past really cool, because, you know, Jeff's going to know all that shit. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because it's kind of like, so, you know, when Shauna made out with Tat Girl, it's kind of cool knowing, like, okay, Jeff already knows about that, or should know about that.
I would think so.
So it's like, how does he feel about that, you know?
Yeah. So it's kind of cool to see
what... Well, because because obviously Jeff and Shauna weren't, like, in a relationship then, you know?
But you still wonder what he thinks about it, the fact that, you know...
Yeah, so now I'm curious, like, what does he think about it? Especially because it's going to be heavily implied that she's still around present day.
Yeah, and don't forget too, we don't. Again, we're just saying that's not knowing how it's gonna go, type of thing either.
Yeah, we don't know how far it goes. You know, like we don't know if they just kissed once and they're never gonna do that again, or if they're gonna be fucking clam stamping all night. You know, like we don't know how it fucking goes.
Knowing this show, the next episode off camera, we could find out there was just a one and done type of thing. They'll just say, "Oh yeah, that was it. That's it. We're done." Like.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like we don't know what they're gonna do with that.
In a good way and in a bad way.
That girl gets Shauna pregnant again, somehow.
I don't even know how that's possible, but sure.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just making a joke. Like, I don't know how the fuck they would do that. It'd be funny.
Especially in the 90s, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it is interesting. So, again, I get it. Getting info from Jeff is not quite the same as, like, somebody who was there. You know, like, but at the same time, you figure Callie would have brought it up at some point, you know?
Yeah.
Like you figure if Callie's really that interested, where she is gonna like ask the lady who like she shot in the arm and like tried to murder her mom, you figure she would have talked to her dad, you know?
Yeah, somebody reasonable. So.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, for now we have no clue why Callie is like wants Lottie to stay. So they kick Claudia out for a minute to kind of discuss this as a family, which I like. I like that they're including Callie in this. They're not just like disregarding her opinion.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that. Probably should have, but
I kind of skipped over it. They did a kind of funny joke where when Lottie said Shauna was going to kick her out, and Callie basically calls Shauna a Karen, and like that she would go to a restaurant and ask for the manager.
Yeah, I wondered if that. Because she didn't say Karen, so I'm wondering if because Karen, I don't know when that term came to be a thing as Karen, because I didn't hear about it till like later on. So I don't know if they didn't say Karen because of that or what.
Karen's been a thing for a while. Like it was definitely a thing in 2001.
2021.
But yeah, they didn't actually call her a Karen, but Callie was basically calling her a Karen. And I like that Shauna was like, "Excuse me, no, I fucking wouldn't." And then obviously at the end of the episode, Shauna kind of like sighs as she realizes, "Fuck, I am the person to ask for the manager."
I liked that, yeah.
Like she was kind of like, "God damn it, I am asking for the manager." Fuck.
That's awesome.
Yeah, a little funny joke in there. But yeah, they kick Lottie out to kind of discuss this as a family. And Jeff, again, has the correct reaction of like, okay, so absolutely fucking not.
Again, there's a reason I voted Jeff as the MVP last season.
Yeah. And then Callie is like, come on, guys, Mom murdered somebody and you blackmailed, and like we covered up the murder, so like we're not innocent here either. And then she is also like, come on, maybe she just, she's kind of obviously not well. She just needs a little forgiveness. We can kind of help her out. And they're like, kind of like, okay.
Well, just Shauna, not Jeff. So.
Yeah, and then, so I'm like, okay, no. Just immediately no. Just no. Literally, when I was watching this scene, I was saying out loud, like, okay, no, obviously not, no. Because normally when I'm watching a show, I'm pretty quiet. Like, I don't really react much. But when I was watching this scene and I could tell where it was going, I was, like, actually getting pissed off. I was like, okay, no, obviously fucking not.
I can't blame you. I was thinking the same thing.
Because Jeff literally fucking brings up the fact, like, they didn't just forget. They were like, okay, so Lottie ran a cult and, like, tried to murder your mother.
Yep.
And she doesn't have to stay here. She could go find a fucking purple person to stay with.
And she has the contact information, as we found out in an episode.
Yeah. So, like, again, there's literally no fucking reason to let Lottie stay here.
Nothing.
But yeah, they let Lottie stay there. Why? I don't fucking know.
Beats me.
Yeah. But, again, this is if it made sense for the characters, I'd be fine with it. Obviously it's a dumb decision, but, like, if the characters, like, had good reasons to let her stay here, I'd be like, sure, fine. But they don't. They have literally no good reason.
Nothing, yeah.
They have brought up the fact they have literally no reason to let her stay here. But they're letting her stay here.
I don't understand this.
And not only are they letting her stay here, they're letting her stay there when Jeff and Shauna are going to be out for the night. And I'm like, okay, so you're going to let this crazy psycho killer cult lady be with your daughter. And it's like, oh, don't worry. They addressed that. They're going to have Misty babysit. Misty, the psycho serial killer.
I mean, to be fair, at least it wasn't the first option. I think it seemed like it was like last resort type of thing, but still.
I mean, I at that point, just kick Lottie out, At that point, just be like, no, you're not staying here.
Yeah. So.
So yeah, they call Misty to stay with, to babysit, to make sure Lottie isn't going to be doing anything with the Callie. Because again, it's pretty obvious, like obviously for the audience, but I feel like even for the characters, it should be pretty obvious that Lottie is like weirdly interested in Callie.
Yes.
Like, so I don't know why they're like allowing this.
Yeah, I don't get this either.
We don't really know why Lottie's interested in Callie, actually. She kind of mentioned it at the end of season 2. She's like, Shauna, is this your daughter? She's so strong.
Yeah, I hope we get more.
Like, I don't really know what that means.
I hope we get more on that.
Like, does Lottie want to sacrifice Callie to the fucking wilderness or something?
potentially. But then she says at the end of season 2 that we gave it what it wanted, so then they were just happy with us. So was she lying there? I don't know. Again, season 2 is just a can of season 2 episode. Season finale is can of worms. So
Yeah.
and unfortunately, that's the most important episode of the whole season, probably.
Yeah. So moving on to Misty's plotline, Walter's living with her still, and obviously Misty got a call from Shauna that she wants Misty to come over, and Walter kind of is bringing up the fact that Misty was been like emotionally wrecked for the last couple weeks, and nobody's checked in on her, and nobody was concerned when that bartender called. But now that like they need something, they're calling Misty, and that's pretty much how it's always been. Whenever Misty needs something, nobody cares, but when they need something, they will drop it on Misty.
Yeah, and a good contrast to this is before, like, he was trying to give her breakfast and, like, comfort her doing her hangover, and she really wasn't, like, reacting too much, but then the second Shauna calls, she was, like, up on her feet, ready to go.
Yeah, kind of just doesn't give a shit about Walter. I'm calling him Walter, actually. I realized, okay, sorry, Elijah Wood. She doesn't care about Elijah Wood. And this really does feel like the fans talking here, where it's like the fans are bringing this fact up to Misty.
Yeah.
And we see how hard Misty's coping. She's like in denial, essentially. She's like, look, I know from the outside this looks like bad, but like you just wouldn't get it. You wouldn't understand the bond we shared from out there.
Yeah, and it's also Misty wanting to be useful too. So.
Yeah. Misty's like desperate to be useful to the YellowJackets. Misty's like, Walter, you got to back off, and he backs off. And we find out he's like helping fix like Caligula's like birdcage.
Yeah,
and like he is like a lot of the work around the house.
Yep, makes sense.
So I'm gonna put that up later because I'm like, with Elijah Wood. But yeah, Misty ends up going over to Shauna's house. She doesn't know why. She just thinks they're gonna like hang out or something. And then they kind of just drop the fact that they're just kind of dumping. Well, Lottie's there, and Misty thinks this is an intervention.
Yeah,
and that, like Elijah got them all together to like talk about Misty's drinking problem. And Shauna's like, "Oh, do you like have a drinking problem?" And then she just kind of doesn't give a shit about that. And she's like, "Okay, so Misty, you're gonna like babysit Lottie and Callie, bye."
Yeah.
And even Misty seemed like baffled by this. I'm like, "What the fuck just happened?"
Yeah, I think that was. I do kind of like that because that kind of proved Elijah Wood's point right. Like Misty just mentioned drinking.
Like realizes that here, and also I like that even like Misty, the crazy one of the group, is like, "Fuck, Lottie's crazy."
Yeah.
Kind of a good contrast when even the crazy person is like, "No, that's the next level crazy."
Yeah, I like that.
But yeah, and then we get a scene where Callie's in her room, and then Lottie kind of like opens a door, and she like looks like she really wants to like talk to Callie, and like is really fucking creepy about it.
Yeah.
And then Misty like, "Hi, Lottie. So I'm gonna like cook for us. Lottie, you should help me cook. Callie, you're suspended, right? You got a lot of homework to do. Why don't you do your homework and I'll double check it for you?" Misty's doing a pretty good job of like keeping them separated.
I know you said like because you ranted about this over text, like the fact that they brought Misty in of all people to do this. Like Misty actually did a good job until
was doing a good job for a little bit. But again, it's kind of like Misty like serial killer vibes, and Shauna knows Misty is like serial killer.
Yeah.
So again, a little weird. Not the people I would have babysit your daughter.
And again, like, does she not have good relationship with the neighbors or anything like that? Like, I'm kind of confused. So,
I mean, I kind of get wanting another YellowJacket to do it because Lottie might like spill some shit about the YellowJackets.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, I'm like, Misty would not the great.
I don't know if I would pick Thaisa either, though. But
Yeah, Tyson Van are also not great choices. Again, I mean, I feel like this all kind of loops back around to the fact that they just shouldn't have let Lottie stay there.
100%. Who the
Because again, yeah, one, they shouldn't let her stay there because she tried to murder Shauna. Two, they're gonna be out for the night, and three, they don't got really anybody like they would reasonably trust to keep them separated.
Yeah, I can't think of any.
So the fact they don't have any good options to keep them separated ties back to the fact they shouldn't have let Lottie stay there.
It's just it's all a big domino effect, just falling apart. So
yeah. So yeah, Misty and Lottie are in the kitchen, and Lottie's bringing up Natalie dying and how she's trying to say that like Misty shouldn't blame herself. And Misty is kind of being like, "Nah, fuck that." She's like, "I'm the one who put the drugs in her system. Like, I definitely killed her." I like that. Misty is like, kind of, she's not like trying to do what Lottie's doing.
Yeah,
and like trying to on the wilderness. She is like, "No, I killed Natalie." Like that's just how it is.
I like that. Yeah, the fact that
Also, why Misty is so fucked up is that like she is blaming herself.
Yeah, I feel like that's the big thing. It seems like they wanted Misty and Lottie to be together this episode so they could have this conversation. I feel like we could have gone about that a whole different way.
Yeah. But then Callie comes in and she wants to like drink booze with them. And Misty's like, "Absolutely not, you're a teenager." But then Callie kind of realizes that like that Misty kind of wants to like be accepted when she mentions that she's never been to a sleepover.
Yeah.
And then Callie's like, "Hey, this will be like one sleepover." And okay, this is pretty in character of like I get why this would be like what makes Misty kind of crack a little bit is she wants to like have friends.
Yeah, I can buy this.
I mean, again, this loops back to like I don't know why Shauna would trust Misty to like keep them separated. But since we're in this fucking stupid situation, like it makes sense why Misty would react like this.
Absolutely.
Yep. So they kind of paint each other's faces and are having fun. And they're trying truth or dare. And I like that Misty immediately is like, "Okay, we shouldn't be playing this game."
I like that. Yeah, that made sense.
Like Misty could kind of tell where this was going. And yeah, sure enough, Callie's pretty much immediately like, "Tell me what happened out there."
I would have written this differently. I would have had it be like a couple jokey ones first, and then like really go crazy with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is pretty on brand for Callie to just immediately like be like, "Okay, no, I'm cutting to the chase. This is what I want."
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, you're right. I guess it's like Callie already got to them to this point. You figure she would have kind of eased into it a little bit.
Yeah, because they weren't really like there yet. So
yeah. But we find out that basically like Callie spiked Misty's drink.
Yep.
So maybe that's why she just kind of didn't give a shit because she knew Misty was going to pass out in a couple minutes.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. And yeah, sure enough. Well, before Misty passed out, they kind of talked a little bit about the wilderness, where Misty's like, "Okay, I know you're thinking that we ate each other and stuff. Like that's as soon as we got back, that was the first thing on everybody's minds." And then Lottie says that like that wasn't the case. That like what we went through out there, like it was, you can't even really begin to imagine.
Yeah.
So they did eat each other, but I guess it's kind of like what they're talking about is like the wilderness, like the supernatural shit. Like that's kind of like what nobody would like believe. Like that's kind of like the main thing they're focused on.
And again, this scene's gonna open up a big can of worms. We find out there was actually nothing supernatural going on and everything like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then you guys just did eat each other, like, and that's the main thing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's good they had Lottie say this scene in case.
Because Lottie's the one who believes the supernatural shit. Yeah.
So if they have to, if it's not supernatural, you can make sense out of it because Lottie said it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Lottie believed it was supernatural. Yeah. This isn't like Natalie saying Travis never believed in the supernatural when he 100% did.
Yep. And still does to this day.
Yep. Yeah, and then they also mentioned that like it was kind of a joke, but they mentioned that like, "Oh yeah, we're all scared of Shauna,"
Yeah, that makes
it's kind of fun. Misty are the ones saying that.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
But that ties into the past where Backwards Hat Girl mentions that they're all scared of Shauna. This is a little weird because I never really got that vibe in seasons 1 and 2. Like present day, that they're all scared of Shauna.
Yeah, that's tough too because they didn't share a lot of scenes together. At least Misty and Lottie, anyways, in the present. But Taissa doesn't seem afraid of Shauna. Like they seem like to still have a friendship going. And Natalie definitely couldn't have been afraid of Shauna. That just wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, and again, well, it's just kind of when Natalie said that like we've done worse than like shooting a blackmailer, and Shauna said maybe you have, but I haven't. I feel like if they were all that, if Shauna did something to make them all afraid of her, I feel like Taissa or Natalie would have like said something after Shauna said that.
Yeah, so we'll see. I hope that doesn't open a can of worms.
I mean, I guess I can buy it, but like I don't know, you're kind of stretching it a bit.
Yeah, so.
But yeah, Misty gets knocked out at that point, and now Lottie and Callie are alone, and presumably Lottie begins telling her all about what happened out, in the wilderness.
Yeah, this would be weird. Like, I don't know if she just told her off camera, and because we haven't seen it yet, they didn't want us to know, or like they just moved on to something else. Because that's really just.
He's like, so truth or dare, implying that like they're gonna continue talking about the wilderness,
Yeah, that's I am disappointed about that a little bit because I would have liked to have seen Callie's reaction to all that stuff.
Yeah, I love that we got Callie's reaction to finding out that they had a baby and it died out in the wilderness last season.
So like the fact that it would be cool to get like other reactions type of thing. That's why I liked. That's what RVB did so well. Like, I know we knew everything, but like it was nice that we had scenes where like the characters talked about the past before we saw it, because then like we got Epsilon's reaction to like Alpha and like failure and everything like that type of thing. So
yeah, that was really good. Or like the scene with York and York's diaries.
Yeah, that was cool. That's how you found out that like York and
thing in the past. Yeah. So, and it's also, I remember a big thing I ranted about in season 2 is that scene where where Shauna admits that she killed that. And then Shauna's like, hey, listen, I can't really explain this to you. So, like, is that okay? And then Callie said, yeah. And I remember in our video, I was like, no, that's not okay. What the fuck do you mean you can't talk about it?
Again, I was even fine with that. Even then, like, they could have just done that one off screen, because that's like, okay, that's fine. We haven't seen anything yet, so.
Yeah, so again, like, okay, Callie said yeah then, and now she's like, no, fuck that, I want to know. It's like, what the
like, what changed? Because it's not like Shauna did anything, like, really, I mean, the only drastic thing that's.
I guess because of what Callie saw last season, where they're all trying to hunt down Shauna. But, like, again, I don't know. Both scenes are pissing me off for, like, opposite reasons.
But, like, you just found out your mom killed somebody and your dad blackmailed somebody. Like, when you want to know, like, then, like,
it's like, yeah, okay, so, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when Jeff and Shauna come back from their dinner, they're just hanging out, they're braiding each other's hair, and they find Misty knocked out in the kitchen. So they know that, like, they were alone together.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Misty wakes up, she pukes, and Shauna's like, oh my god, do you have a drinking problem?
Yep.
But then, yeah, Shauna doesn't care because Misty drove home. And Elijah Wood even brings up, like, oh my god, you're this hammered, and, like, they let you drive home?
It's a reasonable point, I guess.
And Shauna and Misty even points out, like, oh, it was a sleepover. And she's like, it's the same night. So it wasn't over. They called you over to deal with something, and then they kicked you out, essentially.
Yeah. Obviously, she's trying to be, like, all cool here to make it seem like her friends needed her, like, actually wanted to hang out type of thing.
And then Misty is like, you wouldn't, and she gets mad at Elijah Wood. It's like, you're smothering me. You wouldn't get it. Stop judging me. And then Elijah Wood fucking backs off, and he's like, I'm so sorry, Misty, blah, 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 blah. And I told you off camera, so as we mentioned in the, there's a thing called the Mary Stu to Gary Stu, where it's a character who's fucking perfect and they can do everything.
Yep.
This is kind of parallel to that, where it's called a manic pixie dream girl / guy, where the character's whole purpose is like they exist to be like the perfect romantic partner to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what Elijah Wood is in YellowJackets. He exists to be like the perfect thing for Misty. Like, he has no motivation besides being like the perfect boyfriend to Misty.
Which is really a disappointing usage of his character.
Yeah. So it's pretty annoying that, you know, like, he just like can do everything for Misty, expects nothing in return, and then when he's like calling her out on this shit and she gets mad at him, he like immediately backs off.
Why would you bring in an actor? Because obviously he's not cheap. This is a big actor that you're bringing in to do this show, and this is what you do with him. Like,
yeah,
LVP...
even if it wasn't Elijah Wood, it'd be annoying.
Yeah,
but like the fact that it's Elijah Wood makes it even more annoying.
I guess that's the reason I'm thinking. Like, LVB, I know, like, they had a lot of money, but they don't have as much money as probably YellowJackets and Showtime does to do this. And they brought him in. Yeah. They wasted no time with him. He was in the... Again...
Right. I'm just saying, even if it wasn't Elijah Wood, it was just like another actor. Like, I would still find him annoying.
Yeah. This is...
I'm like, I don't buy this. Like, I just don't buy that he's this in love with Misty, that he's, like, this dedicated.
Yeah, it's also... Yeah, it's just really weird. They still haven't explained to, like, anything about his background. Because, again, the way they met was online, on, like, a Reddit post about murders.
Yeah. I buy that this is a real person. Like, he feels like a fucking Misty's imaginary boyfriend, you know?
Maybe he is. Oh, I guess he's not, because Jeff saw him.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. So yeah, Misty kicks him out. And then presumably he'll be back, like last time.
Yeah.
You know, where he drove off, and then he just came back a couple episodes later to resolve somebody else's plot. Maybe he'll fucking come back at the season finale and resolve Thais' plot line for some fucking reason.
I would like that. He's the Randy of this show, but reverse. He just comes back to solve someone's plot lines type of thing.
Yeah. But that's it for Misty.
I mean, the reason he had to leave, too, his lunch break ended, AJ.
Yeah, exactly. He had to go back to Spy Kids 3, which is also a break from Lord of the Rings.
Oh my gosh, how many lunch breaks does this dude have?
He eats a heavy lunch.
Does it take the Griff method where, like, if you don't use it, you lose it type of thing? Like, he takes other...
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
So, yeah, getting to Sean and Jeff's plot while, you know, they were letting their daughter alone with a serial killer and a cult lady. They were out at a nice dinner.
Well, before, I guess I haven't really given my thoughts on these plots because we were so, like... Obviously, I didn't like how we got to the Callie, Misty, Lottie plot. For some stuff that was in it, I like the Callie stuff where she's trying to get information on, like, Thin. I think Callie does everything pretty well here. All the stuff's pretty mediocre, though. It seems like Callie just found out about this off screen. If that's the case, that's stupid because I would have liked to have seen Callie's reaction to, like, finding out what the parents did or, like, what her mom did out there. If Lottie didn't tell her off screen, then what the fuck did they talk about all that time type of thing?
So, like, do you have a crush on anybody, you know?
Yeah, that'd be kind of weird because, like, it would remind me of that scene, honestly, where, like, Lottie told Nata, like, I have a message from Travis, and then, like, the next morning went by, and, like, for some reason she didn't tell him.
Are you going to tell me? Like, no, we'll wait till tomorrow.
Yeah. The Misty Elijah Wood plot was pretty mediocre. I am interested in Misty's plot. I just think we could tell it, I guess, in a little bit of a better way type of thing. And again, I'm just disappointed. Yeah. Again, like you said, it's not a good character, but I guess my frustration's more it's a big actor that they brought in and they're not doing shit with them. So I have that feeling.
I watch the character and it's extra annoying that it's Elijah Wood, a guy I really like.
Yeah. So, So these plot lines are probably a thumbs down overall because they didn't get here in a very logical way, and then but they did stuff with it, but like then it ended up being disappointing out of it type of thing. So it's like,
yeah, I'll just say it now. I was gonna wait till the end, but Misty's plotline is fine. Again, I don't like Elijah Wood's character, but he's not really in it that much, and I think his whole thing is like he's trying to I think it's supposed to the idea is it's gonna get Misty to kind of question her relationship with everybody else. Misty herself is fine. You know, again, I like that she's interacting with Shauna and like her storyline is kind of tying into theirs.
Yep.
So yeah, Misty's fine. I like that she is having like an alcohol issue.
I'll say this now too, because there's no real other time we could talk about this where it won't be relevant. It seems like something I'm liking this season so far is the characters in the present are interacting a little bit more, even if it's not all together. But like last episode, we got Shauna, Thais, and Van talking. In this episode, Lottie, Shauna, and Miss again wasn't done right, but still, I like the fact that not everyone's just kind of disappearing in their own plot lines. Like everyone's interacting more this season so far.
So for the whole Callie again, for Callie, I like her being interested in finding out about what happened in the wilderness. It's just that, like, again, her being okay with Shauna not telling her after she found an Adam kill, she killed Adam, and then not going to her dad when she knows her dad knows about what happened out there. I can't get past that. And again, this whole thing is so dumb. It's just like I just can't buy that any of this would have happened.
It shouldn't have happened.
It's like when we praise Ben. It's like I just can't buy all the characters would be this fucking stupid for this series of events to happen.
Yeah, it's
like so many things have to happen for this specific scenario to happen. I just can't buy it.
I can't either.
So yeah, I just you said you're like think it's mediocre. I fucking hate it. I think it was so fucking stupid.
Oh no, I think I said it was like a thumbs down type of thing, but there was some stuff in there I liked, so it's like, yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, I like a little bit, I guess. Like I said, Missy is fine, but just overall, I did not like any of this.
It's probably like a thumbs all the way down, but like you can't quite get the thumb down. It's like almost down type of thing. So
Owen, I'm gonna go double thumbs down. I think this whole thing was fucking stupid.
You know what kind of sucks too? A lot of this stuff was what was in the trailer of season 2, which sucks.
Yeah. My only hope is, again, now that Callie presumably knows more about the wilderness, we'll get some interesting stuff out of this.
It just sucks we didn't get like anything like immediately type of thing. So
yeah. So yeah, hopefully we get some good stuff out of this. But for now, just this whole thing sucked.
I want to mention this, by the way. We did make this is this is coming off after we just talked about how awesome Ben's plot was type of thing.
Yeah. So that's a double whammy right there. Sean and Jeff's plot, they're at dinner, and these guys are obviously stuck-up assholes, and Jeff's having to really work to, secure this deal. And Sean is, like, on the phone the whole dinner, and she's really just, like, not into this.
Yeah.
And she's, like, trying to check on Callie, because Misty's, like, responding to her text, obviously, because she got knocked out. But these hotel guys are, like, finding it really disrespectful. And they're kind of trying to tell Donna, like, dude, like, you're on the phone, like we're kind of in the middle of something.
Yeah.
And then Shauna's, like, kind of just, like, not, she's kind of just not going along with it. But then she ends up going to the bathroom, gotta deal with the phone call, or try to get on the phone, and then she's in the stall, and then somebody turns the lights off. Well, somebody's like goes up to her stall and is like standing in front of it.
Yeah.
Then the lights go, and Shauna's like getting nervous, like, okay, fuck, somebody's like stalking me right now, and she like turns her flashlight on, and like I think she grabs her keys to like kind of use it as like a weapon or something. She did. And she like opens the door, and nobody's there. She's freaked out. She goes to turn the lights on. And then she like goes to the neighboring stall and sees that like a phone has been left out on the toilet. So whoever was like stalking her in the bathroom like left this phone there for her to find.
Yep.
And then Shauna goes up to like the bar to like see if the bartender like can like find who left the phone there.
Yeah, I like that.
Because Shauna's trying not to cause a scene. But I think her idea is like, she can like pass it off as like, oh, somebody left their phone there, and then she could find out like who goes to pick up the phone.
Yep.
But yeah, Shauna returns to the table, and these guys are being pretty disrespectful to Jeff. Like they're kind of just like, you're like a small time guy, and you'd be really lucky if we like took this deal with you,
Yeah, I didn't like. They should have been nicer to Jeff. Like Jeff was.
But that's the idea is that they're like douchebags and they're like treating it like making this deal with Jeff would like really save his ass and he should be like kissing their ass.
Yeah. Pretty realistic, I guess.
They're self-made guys, and like they're like, and when they mention they're self-made guys, Shauna kind of chimes into the conversation.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you're self-made. Tell me, what did your dad do? And he's like, oh, he was a hotel owner. It's like, oh, wow. So you're a self-made guy, but like you're a successful hotel owner. Your dad was a successful hotel owner. Like, what are the odds? So the idea is that she's calling him like a nepo baby, essentially. He's only in this position because he inherited it from his dad.
Yep.
And she basically says like, you guys are fucking assholes, and that like, you should be begging for Jeff's furniture, and that like you're a bunch of little shits and like you don't deserve your positions. And she storms off, and Jeff is just kind of like I think he tries to like get her to like stop, but once he realizes like she's gonna do this, he's just like, all right, fuck it, and he like starts drinking.
Yeah, I like that.
And after she storms off, he's just kind of like, yep, and then just walks off. I think a part of him was happy that Shauna stood up for him. But obviously, when they get home, we're gonna see he's pretty upset with Shauna.
And I like that he called him out for it because I remember we mentioned last episode.
Yeah.
We hope he would. Like, he doesn't do it the way I think you thought he was gonna do it, but he kind of does it like very sadly and everything like that.
Start. I'm hoping this is kind of like the beginning of like their falling out. But yeah, Jeff kind of, is very sad here, and he says, well, because I don't even think it's just that like she blew up on them. It's that like she was just not engaged the entire time. Like she was on her phone the whole time.
Yeah.
And was not like helping him out because they like got up for a little bit, and Jeff is like, Shauna, can you like help me out here a little bit? Like I'm trying to secure this deal, and like I get use some help here.
Yeah, I liked that because like she wasn't engaging much, and he wasn't fumbling the bag, but I guess some got a thumbs up there. But yeah, he wasn't like fumbling the bag, but obviously he wasn't like landing the deal. Two thumbs up.
Okay, double thumbs up for Jeff, I guess. But yeah, the idea is that like he was trying really hard with his sales pitch, and they were just so focused on Shauna not engaging.
Yeah.
The idea is that like if Shauna was just at least like contributing a little bit, the deal might have gone a little smoother.
Definitely.
Yeah, so yeah, Jeff is pretty upset that night. He's like, obviously about her blowing up and fully fucking up the deal, but even before that, her just not engaging. And him being like, Shauna, like, even though they were assholes, and Jeff acknowledges they were assholes, but he's like, Shauna, this deal was like important to me.
Yep.
And I like what he says here of like, Shauna, you're not the only person in this house, like, I like that, of like Shauna is very self-absorbed and she kind of thinks that like her stuff that goes on is kind of like the end all be all.
Yep.
And fair enough, like the show's about her. I kind of like that of like Jeff. Jeff has his store. He's got his friend Randy. He's got like his own stuff going on, and it kind of feels like Shauna is constantly like disrespecting that.
I liked it even better because the second he leaves, she like goes and like calls his phone. Like she's not even really even resonated what Jeff even like said or anything like that.
Exactly. She's not getting the fact that like this was a big deal for Jeff and she fucked it up,
Hugely. Not just
she fucked it up, she just didn't care, Like if she just cared a little bit, it would have been fine probably.
You know what's weird? You complained about this with Shauna, like she doesn't show like that she cares about stuff, and now that's like a whole character, like
Yeah, I like that they're acknowledging that, If they acknowledge it and like make it a thing and have characters call her out on it, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, this was good. This was good stuff.
Yeah, again, I like that this is being addressed. I like that Jeff isn't just like taking it, I like that he's actually upset and he's sad about it, and he's like kind of calling Shauna out on it.
And we got you said you would like that this had happened a few episodes. We got it in episode 2, AJ. You didn't even have to wait.
Yeah, I'm hoping this is like the beginning of their kind of like falling out, and they kind of have an issue about this.
And I do like to he didn't like fully call out on it. Like it's like they like dove the dagger in.
Yeah, he's just like sad, like he seems really sad that Shauna couldn't be there for him, when this was important for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then, yeah, like you said, Shauna kind of doesn't even like go after Jeff or like try to apologize to him. She just kind of immediately gets back to doing what she was doing. And she's calling the restaurant to see if anybody picked up the phone. But like they're not, telling her that information. And she's just like getting pissed off more and more and like wanting to speak to the manager and like trying to find out answers on who was stalking her at the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the scene by itself isn't like anything crazy, but it's because it's cutting between the past where she's was getting stalked by Backwards Hat Girl. It is heavily implying that whoever was stalking Shauna at the bar after Natalie's funeral, whoever left that tape, and whoever left the phone is Backwards Cap Girl.
Yes. Pretty decent reveal. I think they handle this better with Van because we haven't had Backwards Hat Girl like do any like that actress, if it is her, do any interviews, so that's good. She's not in the trailer. Well, she's in the trailer, but you don't know it's her. Like you don't know the connection to it. So I think they learned from the Van fuck up type of thing. So that's good.
Yeah, better presentation of the reveal. My only issue is like I don't give a fuck about Backwards Cap Girl because she hasn't done anything.
Yeah, it'd be better if she'd done stuff.
So like if she was a character I cared about up to this point, this would be a cooler reveal. And again, it kind of ties into our issue of like fucking nobody died in the past.
Doesn't
like
seem that
fucking
way.
Alive in the present.
And again, I know like that happened in LVB with Freelancer, but the thing they kind of
I think our thing with it only happened once with Carolina,
Yeah, but also too like you.
So like you do it once or twice, that's fine. But YellowJackets keeps doing it.
Yeah, but also too like I don't like no one died in the past of that, but they made good like even though nobody died, they still had like damaging effects, like the effects we were told originally like from the pilot was this was a tragic plane crash that like almost killed everybody type of thing.
Yeah.
So
well, and I think the thing is with RVB is it didn't really try to fake you out. Like we pretty much knew the fates of 99% of them, like from the start. Like we already knew how most of them die or lived.
Yeah.
So it didn't try to like do a bait and switch. YellowJackets, I feel like it makes it a mystery for a lot of these characters, and the reveal to these mysteries keeps being the same thing.
I feel like too. It's you keep doing this reveal. No, it's honestly the big twist would be if they didn't make it type of thing. That would be a bigger twist at this point.
Oh yeah, it loses impact because they keep doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
Like if they did it once or twice, or like like it's fine. It's a cool reveal, but they keep doing it.
A wrestling term, like a wrestling example is there's a wrestling company that the big thing is a wrestler will like leave a group or leave a faction, but then it's a bait and switch. They end up it's like they were in on it all along. They keep doing that trope, but the more they do it, it's less impactful type of thing.
And it's also because, the more you do it, the more that brings up the question of, like, where the fuck have you been and why has nobody mentioned you?
Like I mentioned with Lottie, doing the blackmailer stuff.
Yeah, it's, like, really weird that, like, they were just not... that Backwards Cap Girl has just never been brought up.
Especially, too, that she has a pretty big, like, twist with Shauna at the end there, type of thing.
Yeah. Again, we don't really know where it goes from there, if they're gonna be in like a relationship or not. But like, if it is, then that feels like that should have been brought up between Shauna and Jeff.
I guess that's one of the things they brought it up off screen, and we just never heard about it.
But yeah, that's most of it. More plot line.
I like Shauna's plot line a lot, though. I thought that was good. Huh? I liked Shauna's plot line a lot. I like Shauna's plot.
Oh, yeah. Like the saving grace of the present, I feel like.
Yes. Because as you're about to talk about, I think you could literally talk about Thais and Van's plot line like 2 sentences, probably.
Yeah. So I hated the stuff with Lottie and Callie. Misty's was okay. I just don't give a shit about Thais' plot line. And then Shauna's is really good. So Shauna's plot line is unfortunately the only present day storyline I cared about in this episode.
Probably same for me.
Yeah. Which is funny. It's a funny reversal where in season 1 that was the opposite, where I cared about every storyline except Shauna's.
I don't know what happened if the writers just put all the efforts into Shauna's plotline and just kind of like maybe thought the characters would be strong enough to carry the bad writing. I don't know.
Yeah. But then Tyson Van's plotline it's the next day after they did the the dine and dash. They're kind of just having fun. They reveal that they were fucking last night. They were clam stamping, scissoring, all that shit. They didn't quite say it like that. They were a little more elegant than I am.
Cool.
Okay.
That's cool.
Again, a friendly reminder that Tice is married and has a child, but the show doesn't remember that.
I mean, they took care of that with one phone call, so fully divorces were that easy, right? Just one phone call and that's it. Everything's done off camera.
Yeah. But they're kind of just talking, and Tyson mentions like, "Hey, listen, I'm probably gonna go back to the restaurant and just pay for our dinner because I feel bad." I like that, because obviously the waiter fucking died, but as far as they know, it was just a harmless little prank,
Yeah, that was okay.
But yeah, Van ends up because they were kind of just standing up and hugging and making out. And then Van steps on a beer bottle and the glass goes really deep into her foot. And Tysa tries to talk her into going to the hospital, especially because her body's really frail from the stage 4 cancer. But Tysa kind of drops it because she knows that it's a sensitive subject for Van.
Yep.
But Van kind of reluctantly agrees that she'll go to the hospital.
I got the vibe she didn't go to the hospital based off what.
No, yeah. Later on, I think it's kind of explicitly clear that Van didn't go.
Yeah, I don't know where she went. Guess just hung out.
She went to wherever Javi goes whenever he fucked off in season 1.
That's a long drive.
Maybe she went back to her fucking store that she owns.
That they haven't talked about this season.
Yeah. Presumably she still owns it. I don't know why she lived there.
I mean, the store's going under anyway. For all we know, the store could have just gone under. They just haven't told us. So.
Yeah, I mean, fucking, if an entire cult can go under in 6 weeks, fuck it. I guess Van's store went under in 6 weeks.
I kind of actually like it the reverse. Van's store's actually thriving, and Lottie's cult somehow went under. It's a VHS store too, so that's
maybe all the purple people went to go live at Van's store.
I like that actually.
Yeah. No, all the purple people went to Belize. We haven't done that joke in a long time.
No, we haven't done a show when everyone's died for a while. So
yeah, all the purple people went to Belize. That's my headcanon.
Not Flacco though. She didn't go. She wasn't.
No, fuck. She's at the VHS store. She's been banished there.
I love it.
Yep. So yeah, Tysa goes back to the restaurant. And the waitress is pretty pissed off because obviously, she's like, "Hey, we forgot to pay it," and the waitress is pretty obviously like, "Oh yeah, sure, you forgot."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, listen, we've been kind of going through a lot today, so give me a minute, let me get the manager." And Tysa sees a bunch of the staff are really upset, and she is wondering why. And then she sees that they put up a picture of the staff member who died last night, and it's that waiter, and she realizes oh fuck. That's the guy who chased us, and he obviously, if he died last night, that must have been because of us. He had a heart issue.
Again, like you said, the last video though, why was he chasing them down if he had a heart issue? That's really weird.
And then she sees the waitress is going to the manager, and the manager is like, "Oh fuck, those are the guys he was chasing." And then Tysa pretty quickly grabs her card and dips. I like that she picked up her card. Because obviously they would have been able to find her from the card.
That's good.
Yep. So yeah. So I guess she's probably in the clear. I guess I don't know. They probably have cameras in the restaurant, so they can probably find her. Because remember, to be famous, it's hey, wasn't that the lady who was senator for 2 days?
I don't know. They probably gonna saw. Again, I hate to say this. I just can't buy into Thais' plots because they just wrap them up off screen. So that's probably what's going to happen here. So.
Yeah, I feel I hope they do something with this, you know. But like,
I don't think.
I'm guessing they're not going to do anything with this after this, you know. That seems to be the trend.
Yeah, so that's what. So again, I know you're trying to get me to say something, but I don't want to say anything because it's just gonna get wrapped up the next episode. I think. So.
And again, I'm like, of all the things to get continued, I'm like, this random ass waiter dying. I feel like even if they did continue this plot line, I don't think I'd really care.
And again, like I said, if you had an audio issue, why is he running down people at a restaurant? Like, is it really that important to you? Like, why?
Yeah, he really cares about that tip.
I guess. Why is he working as a waiter if he has a heart issue? That's like stressful shit. That's more the restaurant's fault than anybody else's.
Yeah, I know, right? They probably shouldn't have hired him. Yeah, or fucking have him do something else. Yeah.
What would he do though?
Yeah, anyway,
that's not stressful.
huh?
What would he do? I guess wash the dishes, right? I was gonna say, what would he do that's not stressful on his heart? I guess wash the dishes.
Know, man. Collect like disability and just fucking like don't work, please.
Why he was working if he had a heart issue?
Again, unless he doesn't have a heart issue and the wilderness just gave him a fucking heart attack for some reason.
I guess that's better, but like,
why would the wilderness do that?
I don't
like fuck this guy specifically.
Well, I don't think the man in no eyes showed up. I don't think that's it. That's not connected to the wilderness. I don't think because that's its own thing.
Because I saw that when she was like 5, so like I don't know. I don't know.
Again, if this guy has an heart issue, then this guy shouldn't have been working at a restaurant like that. That's just it.
Maybe the man with no eyes also was the man with no heart. He just took that guy's heart.
Why not? I can see that.
He's like, all right, I got a heart now. Now I gotta go get some eyes.
He's been looking for like years. It's not that hard to find him. Everyone has eyes.
Like fucking Operation game we played as a kid, where you gotta like put in the pieces of like the guy.
Oh yeah, and like he keeps like dinging on him or whatever.
Yeah. He was dinging on the waiter guy. That's why he fucking collapsed.
That's awesome.
Fucking that's the storyline dumb. But and then
I think you actually got me kind of into it by talking about all this shit that's not even about the storyline too. So it's like.
So then Thais, after she bounced, she stops by a random like church service or yoga class or something. And then she kind of just walks in, and then there's like a little like shrine, and she kind of just like puts something on the shrine.
Sure.
I don't
I think she feels bad about what happened because obviously them dying and dashing caused them to die, so she feels guilty. So.
Oh my god, that's so deep. I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, Taisa, can you talk about the wife that you put in a coma, and then now she's out of the coma? She like is taking your son from you, and like doesn't want anything to do with you.
Can't do anything with that. They don't want them to come.
Spend time on this fucking waiter.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then Taisa goes back home. And then, like we said, it's made pretty clear that, like, Van didn't go because, Tyson's like, oh, yeah, I went to the restaurant. It was sorted out. Did you go to the hospital? And Van's like, oh, yeah, no, I went to the hospital. I'm good. So, obviously, like, they're both bullshitting.
You know what's so weird about Van? It feels like she's just there for Thais' plot. Like, at least, we could say a lot of shit about Lottie. At least Lottie gets to, like, build her own character and everything like that. Like, Van other than Van having cancer, what is her character in the present?
Like we said, man, it is, well, like I said, it's like, when two characters are in a relationship in a show, they are not allowed to fucking be around other people. Like, they have to be glued to their hips, Like, I hate that when a show happens.
Yeah. Thais and Van's plot was nothing.
Yeah. It was just, again, it's not bad. It's just, like, compared...
I have nothing to say.
It feels like the priorities mixed up. Of all the things for Thais to be focused on, I don't know why they're doing this.
I don't know. And again, I feel like I can't feel sympathy for this guy because if he has, like you said, if he has a heart issue, why is he working in a restaurant where he's got to like be a waiter? And that's like stressful. That's a stressful fucking job. So why is he working?
Yeah, and why are you chasing people down? Yeah. And again, I'm just like, okay, you're doing a whole Taisa guilt thing, but she just does not give a fuck that she almost killed her wife last season.
Yeah, because immediately after she tries to hook up with Van the last season. So what is Thais's?
So yeah. Buy that Tyson would feel guilty about this, I don't buy it.
And again, I feel like it's the RVB present day storyline where I just have nothing to say about the story. Honestly, weirdly enough, it's the thing. As bad as the Callie Lottie stuff is, I would make the argument this is worse because I have nothing to say about it.
Yeah. So that's it for this episode.
I'm giving it a solid B still because of the Ben stuff and the Shauna stuff in the past. So
yeah, honestly, so the past really carries it. I was gonna give it a B like last episode, but the more we talked about it, I'm like the present mainly sucks. The past is really good. I really like the past this episode. I'll give it a B minus. I think it's slightly worse than last episode.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm still gonna go B because of I really like the past that much.
Yeah,
more.
This is a weird case of like the past this episode was way worse, but I think the present this episode was way worse, but the past this episode was better, so it kind of evens out.
I guess so, yeah. Which is really weird. The only reason the past is bad is the one like because the past actually isn't bad. It just skips a bunch of shit. So
yeah, it skips a lot of shit. Again, last episode did that too, and I feel like last episode skipped more shit. Yeah. So the past last episode was a little worse than the past this episode.
Yeah. One an okay start, I guess, to the season, but maybe I'm critiquing it a little bit more too because we haven't had this show for like 2 years. I wanted to come back on a big high type of thing.
Yeah. They're skipping a lot of shit that I'm interested in, and they're focusing on stuff that I just don't care about. And I think that's the main issue. Yeah.
So hopefully, it's looking like Ben's gonna be carrying the seeds on his back again. So.
Yeah, but I'm hopeful. Again, I'm hoping the next episode is good. If they kind of do something really good with the whole Callie Lottie thing, then I'll be, grateful. I don't like how they did it. If they do something good with it, I'll be happy.
I hope they do something with Misty. Misty's been good so far this season. So.
Yep, Donna's been good. Everything in the past has been good so far. I'm hoping they turn it around with Tice's plot line, but again, if they kind of keep going with this waiter thing, then probably not.
Especially too because it's been a pretty good trend for the show that present day Thais' plotline's been typically not great type of thing. So
yeah, so I'm hoping they turn it around, but I'm not too optimistic on that one.
Probably not.
But yeah, shit.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. We're definitely gonna do episode 3 pretty soon. I don't know when. But. I was able to get Xfinity, but I have a weird week next week, so it's probably just gonna be some short videos. So we'll definitely do YellowJackets again. Just probably not gonna be next week, but it's just gonna depend on what we can do for videos. But as for you can check out for videos next, I think the next video we not exactly sure, but it's gonna be Dragon Ball. Well, no, the next video is Kiss This.
Yep. For my birthday, woohoo! Happy 25.
Kind of sucks too, like because usually we cover something like. I mean, not that this was bad, but usually we cover something like S-Rank Blanket. Now we have to kind of go back to Kiss It. I think you're gonna go up a letter grade once you review Kiss This, depending on how it is. So
yeah, right, so Kiss This will fucking make our so shit. Will look good in comparison.
I can't believe you have to go back to Kiss This. I don't even know how I want the episode to be because it's like I want it to be like. Because last episode was pretty strange, but I don't want it to be boring. I want it to kind of keep it. I don't want it to stay.
I know. I kind of hope it's like last episode, or at least it's bad and funny. If it's like fucking boring, it'll suck.
But I think we've noticed a trend where we get an episode like that, we'll get a boring episode.
Next episode is boring, yeah. So it's probably hopefully next episode doesn't continue that. Imagine, you know what? Imagine we get a good episode of Kiss This. I doubt it'll ever happen, but imagine we got one good episode in there.
I think we did.
It'd be like the first Great Divide, where Great Divide is the only bad episode in Avatar. Kiss This has all bad, and there's one good episode in there.
Didn't we though? I remember because I remember we didn't like it, but we.
Yeah.
What about the episode where Kita's dad smiled laughed by accident?
That is a shining light in the darkness. I would not call that an episode good.
Okay, so. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Check out my wrestling channel for the wrestling things, and we'll talk to you later.